Chapter 5649. Beiyu is here. Hei Shinjio tried a few more times. Not to mention attacking, the Red Claws did not listen to her commands at all. They were too lazy to even move. This guy was simply too lazy to try. This thing was probably a defective product that she had disguised as a spiritual root. It was useless. Instead of wasting time on it, she might as well stabilize the cultivation base that she had just broken through 2 days ago. Moreover, she would be able to see the pretty boy in 4 days. She had to figure out how to spend some time alone with him. As for what to do next time, Lecturer Ouyang raised a question. It was not within her consideration. At worst, she would be labeled as a useless person. It did not matter. Soon, it was the day of rest for the 10 Directions Academy. The new students were not allowed to leave their respective academies. The older students could go to the Feng Shui Pavilion, but they had to go through strict registration. They had to return to their respective academies before the clock struck. Even so, the students were looking forward to the day of the retreat. It was a rare time for them to relax, and they could also buy some necessary items. However, today the students of the lower academy were acting differently, especially the girls. Not a single one of them went out. The reason was simple: Beiyu was coming. Hei Shinjio saw this grand occasion and felt sour in her heart. It was really unreasonable. The pretty boy's appearance after his disguise was not even half as handsome as before, but it still attracted the covetous eyes of so many fangirls. But what about her? They were both in disguise, but there was not even a single suitor. It was simply a blatant injury. Hence, this fellow asked Ding Wenru, "Why do you like Beiyu? He doesn't look like much. What do you like about him?" Ding Wenru thought that Yun Chujio was going to dig up the past, so she quickly proved her innocence. "Qingqing, Beiyu is your man. I have no romantic feelings for him for a long time. Don't misunderstand. I don't like him even if I like him now." Yun Chujio was still very satisfied with Ding Wenru's tactfulness. She smiled and said, "Don't be nervous, I just want to ask. Then tell me, why did you like Beiyu in the past? How is he stronger than others?" Ding Wenru cursed in her heart. "Aren't you asking the obvious? Since you like Beiyu, don't you know how he's stronger than others?" Although she was cursing in her heart, she still said honestly, "Although Beiyu isn't particularly outstanding, his temperament is charming. He's 100 times stronger than that hypocritical Ji Lingfeng. Moreover, Beiyu's appearance is outstanding, and he directly entered the upper house as a freshman. What an... No matter what, it still meant that the pretty boy's temperament was better than hers. His personal charisma was stronger than hers. Tiske. She did not care about these false reputations at all. Otherwise, she could have set up a cold and aloof little beauty persona. What 4 fairies? All of them would have to scram to the side. They would all be dimmed by her boundless radiance. Just as this fellow was consoling himself, someone shouted, "Beiyu is here. Beiyu is here." Yun Chujio turned her head and saw Beiyu walking over with President He's escort. This fellow's heart was even more sour. Even President He gave face to this pretty boy. It was really infuriating to compare people. As this fellow's heart was sour, he glanced at Beiyu and did not say a word. A certain honored guest thought that Yun Chujio would come over to curry favor with him, and at the very least, she would come over to greet him. Who would have thought that Yun Chujio would just glance at him and turn her head away? A certain honored guest's expression became even more indifferent, but it caused the group of women to scream even more crazily. Chapter 5650. President He said a few polite words before leaving. However, before he left, he arranged for Chi Huan to escort Beiyu back to the upper house's waterside pavilion. Beiyu began to talk about his cultivation experience. As he spoke, the crowd burst into applause from time to time. Although some people were in love with Beiyu, many people felt that Beiyu's speech was helpful to them. Ding Wenru tugged on Yun Chujio's sleeve. "Qingqing, didn't you say that Beiyu is already your man? Why didn't you greet him just now?" Yun Chujio snorted coldly. "He'll come and curry favor with me after he finishes his speech. Just you wait and see." Ding Wenru expressed her doubts. After all, Beiyu had never looked in their direction. An hour later, Beiyu finished his speech and walked down from the stage indifferently. Hei Shinjio said to Ding Wenru in a smug manner, "Did you see that? Beiyu rolled over obediently, didn't he? Tiske, let me tell you, even if he talks to me later, I'll ignore him. I'll show you what it means to be able to control a husband." Ding Wenru was skeptical. Could Beiyu take the initiative to talk to her with that cold and aloof look of his? However, Qingqing's confident look did not seem like she was lying. However, when she saw that Beiyu was actually walking towards them, she thought to herself, "Io, looks like what Qingqing said is true. She really has a way of controlling her husband." Hei Xinjia's face was even more smug. However, her smug look quickly froze on her face because Beiyu turned a corner and actually walked towards Chi Huan. "Guard Chi, let's go." The surrounding girls, such as Min Dai and the others, were all secretly watching. They were instantly delighted. It seemed that rumors were indeed not to be believed. They even said that Beiyu had taken a liking to Yan Qingqing. Now, it seemed like that was not the case at all. Beiyu did not even say a word to Yan Qingqing. What did she mean by taking a liking to her? It was simply nonsense. Thus, everyone became even more restless. Min Dai directly squeezed to the front and said, "Beiyu, wait a moment. Beiyu, this is an incense bag that I personally sewed. For you." Before Beiyu could react, a pair of fair and tender hands took the incense bag and threw it out with a whoosh. "Stay away from my man. If a tiger doesn't show its might, do you think him a sick cat? Brother Beiyu, let's go. I'll show you an interesting place." It had to be said that He Xingjiu was flexible. She did not care whether it was embarrassing or not. She grabbed Beiyes's arm and walked out. The corners of Beiyes's mouth curled up into an indiscernible arc. He did not break free from Yunchujia's grip in a. Previously, when she was trying to curry favor with her, Sister Min was the one who had the advantage over Sister Min. Now she was doing this to her. The others were also furious. Especially when they saw that Beiyu did not break free from Yan Qingcheng's hand, their hearts were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. Everyone knew that Beiyu hated it when others got close to him, but now he allowed Yan Qingcheng to grab his arm. It was obvious that he treated her differently. Even so, everyone was still unwilling and followed behind the two of them. They wanted to see where Yan Qingcheng would bring Beiyu to. Everyone followed the two of them and made many turns before they arrived at the Fire Elements Self-Reflection Workshop. After He Xingjiu entered, she bared her little white teeth at the group. "What's the matter? Do you want to come in and boil salt? Go back to where you belong. Don't disturb me and Brother Beiyu in our intimate conversation." Chapter 56-51. Yan Qingcheng was too fierce. After Yun Chujio finished speaking, she shut the door with a bang, blocking everyone's view. Everyone was furious. However, the self-examination square was not a place that one could enter casually. If one were to barge in, it would be against the rules of the academy. It was really infuriating. He Xingjiu closed the courtyard door and dragged Beiyu into the house where the salt was boiled. Just as she was about to speak, a certain someone hugged her and kissed her. He Xingjiu was confused at first, but when she realized what was going on, she broke free from that person's embrace and said angrily, "You pervert. You took advantage of me the moment we met. Didn't you say you had to respect yourself? Why don't you respect yourself now?" The certain someone selectively forgot the hole he had dug and did not speak. He only looked at He Xingjiu with a doting gaze. He Xingjiu was defeated very quickly and mumbled, "Humph. My lord is magnanimous and will not lower himself to your level. Is there a problem with the voice transmission talisman?" D. Biming nodded. "The 10 Directions Academy has a powerful array. Whether it is the Identity Jade Token or the voice transmission talisman, as long as one has sufficient authority, they can listen to the content inside. Only a few people know about this. I only found out about this by chance." Yun Chujio was stunned at first and then scolded, "Bah! This is too shameless. Isn't this an open and above-board surveillance? Fortunately, PM smart. Otherwise wouldn't I be exposed? By the way, why did you come to the 10 Directions Academy?" D. Biming was about to speak, but his pupils shrank and he said in a low voice, "Someone is coming." He Xingjiu heard him and immediately pounced on D. Biming. D. Biming did not expect Yun Chujio to come this way. He was also afraid that he would hurt Yun Chujio if he tried to avoid the fall, so he could only be thrown to the ground by her. "Brother Beiyu, just obey me. Let me give you a kiss, okay?" Yun Chujio's voice was really loud. Chi Huan, who had just walked to the door, as well as the people who were poking their heads out because the door was opened, all heard her. Everyone could not believe their ears. Fuck, this Yan Qingcheng was too shameless. She actually wanted to force herself on Beiyu. She was simply a pervert. Chi Huan was also dumbfounded. He did not know if he should continue walking forward. He could only shout, "Student Beiyu, the upper house has an emergency order. They want you to return to the upper house immediately. The principal wants me to escort you back to the upper house." He Xingjiu was so angry that she was twitching. However, there was nothing. This fellow curled the corners of his lips sinisterly. Those flower addicts would definitely be furious to death when they saw this mark. It would be best if they were angered to death directly. D. Biming was speechless at her childish behavior. He leaned close to her ear and said, "Be careful. I will find another opportunity to meet you. We will talk in detail when the time comes." Yun Chujia's face turned red from the heat. She climbed up from Di Biming's body and glared at him before opening the door. Chi Huan was stretching his neck and waiting. When he saw Beiyu still lying on the floor, he could not help but gasp. Oh my, this Yan Qingqing is too strong. However, Beiyu's cultivation was much higher than Yan Qingqing's. Was he resigned to his fate and was pushed down? He probably had to give up halfway. Tiske, who would have thought that Beiyu, who looked so cold and aloof, would actually like such a tone that was forcefully suppressed? After Beiyu came out, Chi Huan immediately saw the hickey mark on his neck, and the way he looked at Yun Chujio became even more complicated. Chapter 56-52, the colorful tail Beiyu's expression was normal. He said to Chi Huan with a complicated expression, "Let's go." Chi Huan was very impressed. No wonder he was a genius. Looking at his calm attitude, he was indeed different from the rest. The three of them walked to the entrance of the self-examination square. Many people saw the hickey mark on Beiyu's neck at first glance and were instantly stunned. Oh my god. Yan Qingqing actually succeeded. She had actually sullied Beiyu's innocence. This woman pervert wolf. He Xinjiu, on the other hand, had a smug expression on her face. She held onto Beiyu's arm like a victorious rooster with a colorful tail. She liked it when others could not stand her and could not kill her. Yun Chujio sent Beiyu to the entrance of the academy and said reluctantly, "Brother Beiyu, I will find an opportunity to visit you in the upper academy. Remember to send me a voice transmission talisman." Beiyu glanced at the crowd that was following him. His eyes were full of warning as he said indifferently, "Ian, if anyone bullies you, tell me." The female students that were watching from the side were filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. Such a top-quality cabbage had actually been forcefully taken over by a pig like Yan Qingqing. If they had known that Beiyu liked to be forced, they would never have been so reserved. He Xinjiu replied coyly, "Brother Beiyu, I got it. Remember to send me a message when you arrive at the upper house." Beiyu nodded and left the lower house with Chi Huan. He Xinjiu stood on her tiptoes and watched for a while. When she turned around, she received countless envious looks. A brilliant smile appeared on his face. "There are plenty of good men, so don't think about my man anymore. Otherwise, HMP." Many people had angry expressions on their faces, but when they thought of Beiyu's cold gaze before he left, they gritted their teeth and endured it. This Yan Qingqing was a good for nothing. After the exams, she might be expelled from school. There was no need for her to break the school rules just because of him. Moreover, if Beiyu really stood up for her, it would not be worth it. Therefore, even though many people looked at Yun Chujio unkindly, no one did anything. However, because Yun Chujio had gotten together with Beiyu, from that day onwards she was isolated. Originally, the students who were listening in had a good impression of her, but now it was all gone. The girls were here because of Beiyu. The boys were here to please the girls, and they also felt that Yun Chujio was too unreserved. Yun Chujio did not mind. She did not live for others. If everyone liked her, she would die of exhaustion. Moreover, after the big exam, she would enter the middle school. Bizem. Thinking of the big exam, this guy was a little worried. Although she had benefited from the power of lightning last time, her cultivation was only at the second layer of the divine enlightenment realm. She wasn't sure if she could enter the middle school. It was best to think of a way to get more lightning. Unfortunately, Min Dai and the others didn't pay attention to her now. It was a little difficult to find out information about the spirit department. However, she still got a useful piece of news through Chen Guang and the others. Since the Thunderstones in the Thunder Department's cultivation room were ineffective, the Academy decided to lead all the Thunder Spirit Root students to the Thunder Valley to collect the Thunderstones. Firstly, it was to store the Thunderstones. Secondly, it was also to train the Thunder Spirit Root students. Hei Xinjia's heart suddenly itched. If she could go with them, she might be struck by lightning as she wished. Moreover, she could save up some money. However, now that she had the Fire Spiritual Root, how could she go with them? Chapter 56-53. Pain and Happiness. Hei Xinjiu pondered for a while and finally thought of a solution. Early in the morning, Hei Xinjiu strolled to the Spirit Department. The moment she entered the Spirit Department, she received a lot of unkind looks, especially from Min Dai and the other ex-members of the Beiyu Admirers Union. They wished they could stab Hei Xinjiu into a sieve with their eyes. If it were anyone else, under such circumstances, they would probably not be able to move an inch. However, Hei Xinjiu did not care at all. She even shamelessly waved her claws to greet everyone. Min Dai and the others were almost angered to death. "Yan Qingqing, what are you doing in our spirit department again?" Min Dai asked with a cold face. Yun Chujio revealed a malicious smile. "Little butterfly, I heard that your Thunder Spirit Root people are going to Thunder Valley to collect Thunderstrike stones, right? Min Dai was so angry that she almost died. What the hell was Little Butterfly? She said unhappily, so what if it is? Does it have anything to do with you? Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders. Indeed, it doesn't have anything to do with me. I heard that Thunder Valley is very dangerous. Moreover, if you are not careful when collecting Thunderstrike stones, you will be struck bald. Little Butterfly, you have to be more careful. You are not as good looking as me to begin with. If you are struck bald by the lightning strike stones, the gap between you and me will grow bigger and bigger. Min Dai was so angry that she was twitching. This Yan Qingqing was really asking for a beating. Moreover, where did she get her confidence from? Her looks could only be considered delicate and pretty. Did she think that she was beautiful? Shameless. At this moment, Yun Chujio pointed at the other girls with Thunder Spirit Roots and said, "And you guys? Tieske, you still want to compete with me for the Northern Imperial City? You will all be struck bald by the lightning strike stones." Ah. Thinking about it, it wasn't a bad thing for me to fall into the pit of lightning stones. If I hadn't fallen into the pit, you guys wouldn't have had the chance to experience it. You guys have to thank me properly. Alright, I forgot to remind you guys. The students of the upper and middle school are still better off. After all, their cultivation is high. You little scumbags, when the time comes, be smarter and don't really die. That would be too satisfying. Everyone was so angry that they were about to smoke. This Yan Qingqing was too fucking shameless. She was practically throwing salt on their wounds. Someone scolded, "Yan Qingqing, do you still have a conscience? We treated you well back then, but now you're adding insult to injury. Doesn't your conscience hurt?" Yun Chujio clutched her chest. "Ioi. Do all of you know that there's a comfortable feeling called pain and happiness? I'm now." Everyone could not take it anymore. They rolled up their sleeves and were about to beat her up. Hei Shinjio immediately put her hands on her hips. "I am the captain of the fire-type law enforcement team. Furthermore, I am now the beloved one of the Northern Army. My status is no longer what it was in the past. If any of you dare to lay a finger on me, I will let my brother Northern Army beat you to death." Although everyone was not afraid of her position as the captain of the law enforcement team, they were afraid that the Northern Army would take revenge if they really hurt her, so they did not dare to act rashly. Seeing that they did not dare to make a move, Yun Chujio became even more arrogant. "You guys don't dare to make a move, right? Are you holding your breath? I love to see how you guys can't kill me even though you don't like me. Alright, don't argue with me anymore. Just think about the upcoming training. I'm still waiting to see your bald lady." The crowd was beyond furious. If resentment could kill, Hei Shinjio would have died thousands of times. Chapter 56-54 Spirit Department Petition. Hei Shinjio curled her lips and said, "I know you hate me, but so what? I have a fire spirit root and I will not go with you no matter what. Do you think it's infuriating?" The guy grimaced, made a face and then jumped away. Min Dai and the others looked at Yun Chujio's smug back and were so angry that they gritted their teeth and cursed. "I'm so angry, this bitch. This is a blatant provocation. It's so hateful that we didn't dare to disobey the Academy's rules. Otherwise, we would have beaten her until her teeth were all over the ground. I've never seen such a shameless person. Previously, she used some Northern Imperial Admirer alliance to trick us, and now she's adding insult to injury. She's really too shameless. Yeah, this fellow is an ingrate. It's a good thing that we treated her so well before and even brought her to the cultivation room to gain experience. If she hadn't insisted on going in, Xiao Lianping wouldn't have pushed her. If Xiao Lianping hadn't pushed her, she wouldn't have fallen into the pit. If she hadn't fallen into the pit, the lightning strike stone wouldn't have lost its effect. We wouldn't have had to go to the Thunder Valley to collect the lightning strike stone, so, she's the main culprit." Min Dai heard everyone's curses and her heart moved. She said to everyone, "I've thought of an idea. Even though Yan Qingqing has a fire spirit root, she is the main culprit behind the failure of the lightning strike stone. There is no reason for her to stay out of this. Let's go and look for the sect master now and ask Yan Qingqing to follow us to Thunder Valley for the trial. When the time comes, we will have to take revenge. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" When the others heard this, they were instantly delighted and felt that this suggestion was not bad. Although the main responsibility for the failure of the lightning strike stone lay with Xiao Lianping, Yan Qingqing also had to bear some responsibility. As long as they grasped this point, Sect Master Yuan might agree to bring Yan Qingqing along for the trial. Everyone hit it off and persuaded many students with lightning spirit roots to carry banners and run outside of Sect Master Yuan's study room to petition. Severely punish the main culprit of the failure of the lightning strike stone, Yan Qingqing. Request Yan Qingqing to join the trial in the Thunder Valley. If Yan Qingqing doesn't go to the trial in the Thunder Valley, the heavens will not tolerate it. Sect Master Yuan's face was completely dumbfounded. How did this suddenly involve that Yan Qingqing? Min Dai acted as the representative and said, Sect Master, if Yan Qingqing didn't insist on entering the cultivation room, the series of events that happened afterward wouldn't have happened. So, it's hard for her to escape the blame for the failure of the lightning strike stone. If we don't punish her a little and teach others a lesson, how will our spirit faculty be able to establish a foothold in the lower house? Therefore, I implore the sect master to agree to our request and let Yan Qingqing accompany us to participate in the Thunderbolt Canyon trial. Sect Master Yuan frowned. Nonsense. This time, all the students going to the Thunderbolt Canyon trial are Thunder-type Spirit Root students. Yan Qingqing, a Fire-type Spirit Root, simply doesn't meet the requirements. Min Dai and the others looked at each other and then sat cross-legged on the ground. It was as if they wouldn't leave if Sect Master Yuan didn't agree. Sect Master Yuan was so angry that he was twitching. Aren't you afraid of being punished by the Academy's rules? Everyone was speechless. They hated Yan Qingqing to death now. Now that there was a ready-made opportunity for revenge in front of them, how could they give up? When they thought about how Yan Qingqing looked like when she learned that she was going to follow them to the Thunder Valley, they suddenly felt that everything was worth it. If the law did not punish the masses, they did not believe that Sect Master Yuan would really punish them. Moreover, there were not many spirits in the first place, so Sect Master Yuan could not bear to punish them. Otherwise, Xiao Yinping would not have only been given a warning last time. You must also participate in Chapter 56-55. Sure enough, when Sect Master Yuan saw that everyone was determined to have Yan Qingqing follow them to the Thunder Valley, he had no choice but to compromise. Yan Qingqing is not a spirit after all. I need to discuss this with President He and Sect Master Zhen. You guys can go back first. Min Dai and the others didn't move. It was obvious that they wouldn't leave this place until they got the final result. Sect Master Yuan was both angry and helpless. He vented his anger on the culprit, Yan Qingqing. He had already heard from his trusted aides that Yan Qingqing had come over to provoke him this morning. He cursed in his heart. This Yan Qingqing was simply a troublemaker. She had come over to provoke him for no reason. Wasn't she making herself uncomfortable? She had hooked up with Beiyu, so she had gone overboard. Sect Master Yuan met with President He angrily and told him everything. President He was already having a fit. Whenever he heard about Yan Qingqing, his head would ache. He had only been quiet for 2 days. How did he end up causing trouble again? He was truly a troublemaker. Among the major departments in the lower house, the spirit department was the most difficult to deal with. To a certain extent, the spirit department was superior to the other departments. The reason was very simple. Unless the spirit department students were courting death, they could all enter the middle house. Some of them would even end up in the upper house. President He advised, Sect Master Yuan, Yan Qingqing has a fire spirit root. If she goes with you, she will inevitably become a burden. I think we should forget about this matter. You should properly appease the spirit faculty students. Sect Master Yuan smiled bitterly. President, if I can appease her, I won't come looking for you. It's just that Yan Qingqing is too good at drawing hatred. Those students are about to go crazy from her anger. President He. With no other choice, President He had no choice but to find Sect Master Zhen and tell him everything. Sect Master Zhen was dumbfounded. Was this Yan Qingqing idle? Why did she go to the spirit faculty to provoke them? Was she crazy? However, when he thought about how those students had been ostracizing Yan Qingqing recently, it was normal for her to add insult to injury. However, what should he do now that he had stirred up a hornet's nest? Although Sect Master Zhen didn't like Yun Chujio, she was still a student of the fire faculty, so she firmly disagreed at the beginning and almost quarreled with Sect Master Yuan. President He quickly smoothed things over. All right, stop quarreling. Both of you are seeking common ground for the sake of your students. You will eventually come up with a solution. Sect Master Zhen and Sect Master Yuan didn't have any conflicts to begin with. It was just that they were in a rush to speak, so the two of them had a way out. President He sighed and said, Sigh, Sect Master Zhen, the students of the spirit faculty are now in a frenzy. If we don't let Yan Qingqing go, it might not be easy to end things. For the sake of the big picture, we should let Yan Qingqing go. Actually, the Thunder Valley isn't that scary. Besides, there are also lecturers accompanying us. There won't be any danger. Sect Master Zhen couldn't argue with him, so he could only nod his head in agreement. Sect Master Yuan, let me be frank. I'll leave Yan Qingcheng's safety to you. If anything happens to her, humph. Sect Master Yuan also knew that this matter was more or less in the wrong, so he said, don't worry about that. No matter how bad I am, I can still protect a little girl like her. Hearing his words, Sect Master Zhen didn't say anything else. After returning to his own courtyard, he called He Xinjiu over. Sect Master Zhen first asked a few questions about the law enforcement team, then changed the topic. That Yan Qingcheng, because the spirit element lightning strike stone's failure is related to you, you have to participate in the Thunder Canyon trial this time. Chapter 56-56. I am your personal student. Yun Chujia's heart bloomed like 1,000 peach blossoms, and the little person in her heart was about to collapse from laughter. Whatever came to her mind, those fools from the spirit faculty were really obedient. This fellow suppressed the urge to laugh maniacally, and his face revealed an expression of disbelief. Sect Master, what did you say? Did I hear wrongly? You want me to participate in the trial of Thunder Canyon? I have a fire spirit root. Sect Master Zhen braced himself and said, this is a request made by a spirit department student. Sect Master Yuan and President, he can't do anything about it. Who asked you to go to the spirit department to provoke them? Yun Chujia's eyes widened and she took 2 steps back. Sect Master, a spirit department student is a student. Am I not a student? I am your personal student. Are you going to watch me die? Sect Master, I am a useless snack of the 9th level spirit extinguisher. There is no one in the entire lower house who is more useless than me. Do you really have the heart to let me participate in the trial? Aren't you afraid that I will die there? Sect Master Zhen. You don't have to worry too much. Sect Master Yuan will also go. I have already informed him that he will protect you. Yun Chujia's eyes reddened and she said sobbingly, must I go? Sabasobi, if I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have gone to the spirit department to show off. Is it still too late for me to apologize to those little bastards of the spirit department? The corners of Sect Master Zhen's eyes twitched violently as he thought to himself, is it all over with just a slap? He had heard that those spirit department students were going to be driven mad by this fellow. Just a few words of apology? Woo-woo, Sect Master, PM's such a good for nothing. Even with Sect Master Yuan protecting me, I'm afraid I won't be able to live. I haven't lived long enough. PM's still a flower bud. My precious spiritual artifact was damaged last time, and even the jade talisman of great compassion of the emergency order is gone. I have no way to live. Rather than die in the Thunder Valley, I might as well hang myself at your door. At least I'll be able to come back and visit you more often in the future. Sect Master Zhen. You better stay as far away from me as possible. In the end, Sect Master Zhen really couldn't stand this guy's crying skill, so she took out a jade talisman and handed it to her. This is a shield talisman for level 3 of the Heaven Realm. If you run into any danger, it can help you block some of the attacks after you activate it. Yun Chujiu had learned some general knowledge about the Divine Enlightenment continent. There were 3 major levels of jade talismans in the Khan. Each level was divided into 9 levels. Immortal level jade talismans were only available to a few people. For example, teleportation talismans belonged to the immortal level jade talismans. For ordinary people, heaven level jade talismans were already very rare, let alone 3. It seemed that old man Jin treated her well. Yun Chujiu immediately wiped her tears and said, Sect Master, you are so kind to me. I will definitely thank you for your great kindness in the future. But, do you only have one? Good things come in pairs. Give me another one. Does the jade talisman seal cost nothing? Did his jade talisman seal come from a strong wind? In the end, Sect Master Zhen gave Yun Chujiu another shield talisman out of heartache. He Xinjiu left Sect Master Zhen's study room sobbing and found President He while wiping her tears. This guy did the same thing. After howling for a while, he got 2 heaven grade level 4 galloping talismans from President He. Then this fellow wailed all the way back to the dormitory. That miserable wail simply made everyone too damn relieved. This Yan Qingcheng also had such a day. She deserved it. She deserved it. Chapter 56-57. The doormat. When the spirits, Min Dai and the others heard about it, they felt that their anger had been slightly alleviated. This was just the beginning. They would teach her a lesson when they went to the Thunder Valley. On the other side, Ding Wenru and the others saw He Xinjiu running in with tears streaming down her face. They were all dumbfounded. Just as they were about to ask her what had happened, they saw He Xinjiu laughing so hard that she was about to roll on the ground. Ding Wenru and the others were even more confused. Had she gone mad? Hei Shinjo laughed for a while before saying, "Let me tell you a piece of good news. In a few days I will be going to the Thunder Valley with the Spirit Tribe. However, in order to avoid being exposed, I will pretend to be worried outside. When the time comes, cooperate with me. Don't be exposed." Ding Wenru and the others looked at each other. Was going to the Thunder Valley a good thing? Furthermore, she had a fire spirit root. Ah no, this fellow had a heavenly lightning spirit root. No wonder she was so happy. But why would the academy let her go with them? Yun Chujio immediately recounted the incident in a smug manner. Ding Wenru and the other two looked at each other. How despicable. Those spirit faculty members might still be elated. Who would have thought that all of this was a trap set by this fellow before them? Fortunately, they were in cahoots with this guy. Otherwise, they would have to help her count the money if they were sold. Ching, although all of this was planned by you, don't be careless. It was said that the Thunder Valley was very dangerous. Moreover, you were now a thorn in the eyes of many female students. It was inevitable that someone would do something small, so it was better to be cautious. Qin Linglong instructed. Yun Chujio nodded. Yes, I will be careful. You guys should also be more cautious in the academy to avoid being exploited. If you encounter a problem that you really can't solve, try to delay it for a while and wait for me to come back. In the next 2 days, Hei Shinjo appeared in front of the others with a sad face and occasionally wiped her tears. She was as miserable as she could be, which made those female students who adored the Northern You feel quite relieved. Yen Qingqing, you also have this day. This is karma. Soon it was time to set off. Hei Shinjo rushed to the meeting place with a hopeless expression. Min Dai and the others saw that she looked like she couldn't live anymore and felt refreshed. They wanted to throw their heads back and laugh 3 times. Min Dai walked in front of Yin Chujio and said with a fake smile, "Yo, Yen Qingqing, why are you here? Aren't you a fire spirit root? What? Are you going to follow us to Thunder Valley? A good-for-nothing like you would not only be struck bald, but you might not even be able to keep your life. How pitiful." Someone immediately echoed, "That's right, Yen Qingqing, aren't you full of bad ideas? Think of a way not to go. Yen Qingqing, good and evil will be repaid in the end. You finally got your retribution. When we reach the Thunder Valley you will suffer. Why don't you kneel down and beg us? Maybe we will be kinder and save your life." Yun Chujio pursed her lips tightly. Her eyes were red and she looked like a doormat. When everyone saw her like this, they immediately felt that the sky had turned blue and the clouds had turned white. It was simply too fucking satisfying. Min Dai said to everyone, "The sect master is coming soon. We will let her go for now. Anyway, there is still a long way to go." Only then did everyone let Hei Shinjo go for now. When Sect Master Yuan arrived, they saw Yun Chujio standing alone at the side with red eyes like a frightened little rabbit. Chapter 56-58 Are you Yen Jingcheng? Sect Master Yuan suddenly felt a little pity for her. Seeing that she was wearing fire element clothing, he said to Min Dai, "Lend Yun Chujio a set of spirit element clothing so that we won't have to waste our breath when we gather." Although Min Dai didn't petition, she still took out her own set of academy clothing and handed it to Yun Chujio. Sect Master Yuan said some things to take note of before leading everyone to the dock. On the way, Yun Chujio was naturally the one who was ostracized again. She was pushed to the back of the line. This fellow sniffed and followed along with an aggrieved expression. Min Dai and the others turned their heads to look at her from time to time. Their eyes were filled with schadenfreude. If it was not because of Sect Master Yuan, they would definitely ridicule her. After arriving at the dock, they waited for about 15 minutes before a spirit ship sailed over from afar. After boarding the ship, a few people immediately came over to greet Sect Master Yuan. However, there was a middle-aged man who stood at the side and didn't say anything. The expression on his face was quite arrogant. Sect Master Yuan's expression immediately became a little ugly. That middle-aged man was the upper house's Spirit Energy Branch's Vice Director Xiaofu. He would usually teach Thunder-type students martial arts. Although strictly speaking, Vice Director Xaifa's position in the upper house was higher than Sect Master Yuan's, but Sect Master Yuan's age and seniority were there after all, so Vice Director Xaifa's actions were a bit too much. Sect Master Hao of the Middle House's Spirit Energy Department saw that the situation was a bit awkward, so he quickly said, "Vice Director Xiaofu, didn't you just say that Sect Master Yuan was here? Why is he here, and we beat him?" Vice Director Xiaofu then said to Sect Master Yuan indifferently, "Since everyone is here, let's set off immediately." Sect Master Yuan was quite dissatisfied with Vice Director Xiaofu's commanding tone, but he was shrewd after all. Although he was displeased, he didn't say anything. The next morning, Everyone went ashore and took a flying spirit tool to the Thunder Valley. In the cabin, the upper house, the middle house, and the lower house were all gathered together. The lower house had the most people, the middle house was next, and the upper house had the least people. Although the upper house had fewer people, they were the most imposing, and their faces were full of pride. The people in the middle house were slightly better, but they could not help but look at the people in the lower house with contempt. Although the people in the lower house had expected this, they were also blessed by the heavens in the lower house, so they could not help but find it difficult to AC. Fortunately, they also had someone they despised, and that was Jiu, who only ate and slept. Eat, eat, eat. You only know how to eat all day long. Yan Qingqing, could it be that you're afraid of being struck to death by lightning when you arrive at the shocking Thunder Canyon, so you eat with all your might? Min Dai glared at He Xingjiu, who was chewing on the chicken drumstick, and said fiercely. Yun Chujiu immediately shivered. Her eyes were red, and she continued to chew on the chicken drumstick. Min Dai saw her like this and glared at her again. She did not say anything. However, with her clamor, many people from the upper house and the middle house looked over. To be more precise, their gazes fell on Yun Chujiu. A phoenix-eyed woman from the middle house pointed sharply at Yun Chujiu and said, "Hey, your name is Yan Qingqing? Are you the one who shamelessly clung onto the Northern Imperial Army and refused to let go of Yan Qingqing?" Yun Chujiu shivered again and hid behind Min Dai. "Sister Min, save me." "Min Dai, you fucking shameless. Did you forget calling me little butterfly? Now that you have a favor to ask of me, do you know how to call me Sister Min?" Min Dai mercilessly dodged to the side and exposed He Xingjiu. Chapter 56-59 The frightened little quail. When the phoenix-eyed woman saw Yun Chujiu in such a state, she immediately determined that she was Yan Qingqing. She frowned and said, "Didn't you say that you're a good-for-nothing with a fire spirit root? Why are you here?" Yun Chujiu lowered her eyes and timidly bent her body, not saying a word. "Are you deaf or mute? Didn't you hear me asking you a question? Why did you come along?" The phoenix-eyed woman raised her voice and asked. Yun Chujiu remained silent like a frightened little quail. The phoenix-eye's anger was not light. She pointed at Min Dai and said, "Tell me, is she Yan Qingqing? Why is she here?" Min Dai was quite dissatisfied with the phoenix-eye's bossy attitude, but she did not dare to offend her. She could only say, "Yes, she is Yan Qingqing. She is here because she is related to the failure of the lightning strike stone in our cultivation room, so she was punished to come here to collect the lightning strike stone." Dan Fengyan was stunned at first before she continued to ridicule, "The lower house is the lower house. Her brain is just not clear. She actually brought along such a burden. However, it's good that she died in the Lightning Valley. Otherwise she would shamelessly pester Bayu." Dan Fengyan's words clearly resonated with many people. Those people let out sneers as if they had already seen the scene of Yun Chujiu being struck to death by lightning. Min Dai and the others' expressions were not very good. Although the Red Phoenix Eye was scolding Yun Chujiu, his words also belittled the lower house. The Red Phoenix Eye and the others mocked and ridiculed her for a while before temporarily letting Yun Chujiu go. Yun Chujiu timidly retreated to the corner and did not say a word. Min Dai glared at her fiercely and then said in a low voice, "Where's your arrogance from before? Why have you become a punching bag now?" Yun Chujiu looked at Min Dai carefully and then said weakly, "Sister Min, I'm afraid of being struck by lightning. Can you plead with the dean and let me go back to the academy?" Min Dai snorted coldly. "Give up on that idea. Let's not talk about whether PLL help you or not. Even if I do, the dean won't let you go back to the academy alone." Yun Chujiu pursed her lips and looked like she was about to cry. Min Dai felt even more annoyed when she saw her like this. She simply walked to the side and ignored her. He Xingjiu saw that she had left and took out a handful of melon seeds. Her eyes were red as she munched on the melon seeds. Yun Chujiu's eyes flashed. She had to keep a low profile now that she did not have a proper name. Otherwise, if some little bitch used her spiritual root to argue, it would be too much of a loss if she was sent back. That was why she had repeatedly shown weakness and allowed the spirit department, the middle and upper houses to do whatever they wanted. She was not afraid of settling scores. She had all these people in her mind. Let's wait and see. Just as Yun Chujiu was thinking about it, she felt a malicious gaze. She looked up and saw Xiao Yinping staring at her with a vicious expression. Yun Chujiu shivered and lowered her head. Xiao Yinping revealed a cold smile. "Yan Qingqing, the Thunder Valley is where you will die." After he found out that Yun Chujiu was going to the Thunder Valley, he immediately told this news to Xiao Yanxiao. Xiao Yanxiao told him that the person leading the team this time was her second uncle, Director Xiaofu of the Upper Academy's Spirit Energy Branch. She had already informed him to let Xiao Lianping do whatever he wanted. Director Xiaofu would be there to support him. Xiao Lianping hated Yun Chuzhou because of the lightning strike stone incident last time. Even if Xiao Lianxiao didn't mention it, he planned to find a way to kill Yun Chuzhou to take revenge this time. Now that he had backing, he naturally had more confidence. Chapter 5660 revealed the fox's tail from Xiao Lianping's point of view. Killing Yun Chuzhou was as easy as flipping his hand. After all, there were only 8 lecturers in total. It was impossible for him to take care of so many students. He could simply find an opportunity to succeed. Moreover, he could also see that more than 90% of the girls here did not like this Yan Qingqing. Even if someone saw her, they would not say anything. Therefore, he only needed to find the right time to kill this trash. The Thunder Valley was not very far from the 10-sided waterside pavilion. 3 days later, the Flying Spirit Tool arrived at the Thunder Valley. After everyone got off the Flying Spirit Tool, they lined up. Vice Sect Master Xiao swept a glance at everyone and his gaze fell on Yun Chuzhou. He frowned and said, "Sect Master Yuan, how can your lower house have a student with such low spiritual power? Is she also a Thunder Spirit root?" Sect Master Yuan suppressed the displeasure in his heart and said indifferently, "She has a Fire Spirit root. The failure of the Thunder Strike Stone this time is related to her, so I brought her here to make up for it." Vice Director Xiaofu said with a hint of ridicule, "She's just a piece of trash and you want to make up for it? I think she's a burden. If she dies in there, Sect Master Yuan won't be able to regret it later." Sect Master Yuan had long disliked Vice Director Xiaofu, so he said stiffly, "I'll protect her. She'll be fine." Vice Director Xiaofu ate a soft nail, and anger flashed in his eyes. He said coldly, "Since you insist, then I have nothing to say. Let's go into the valley." Immediately, everyone entered the Thunder Valley. Yun Chuzhou sized up the Thunder Valley as she walked. There was a wide river in the middle of the valley. Because there was no wind, the river was very calm, but there was no wind or waves. Both sides of the river were lush and green, and there were no traces of lightning. The people from the Academy of 10 Directions walked along the south bank from east to west. It was said that there was a shallow beach hundreds of miles away. From there, they could reach the north bank of the river, and the north bank was the main source of the lightning stone. Bai Li and Yun Chuzhou walked along the south bank. As for why they did not cross the river, it looked calm, but it was dangerous. It was said that there was a huge whirlpool in the river, and if they were not careful, they would die. Yun Chuzhou thought about what she knew and followed the group. It was not easy to walk on the road. The ground was covered with vegetation, and there were many broken stones. Therefore, when it was dark, the group had only covered half of the distance. Director Xiaofu ordered the group to set up camp on the spot and continue their journey after daybreak. The group lit a bonfire and sat on the ground in groups of 2 or 3. They talked and ate dinner at the same time. He Xingjiu was more embarrassed. No one paid attention to her. They looked as if they were letting her fend for herself. They even pointed at her from time to time. He Xingjiu did not care about this at all. She built a bonfire and started to roast meat happily. Min Dai saw this and curled her lips. "Yan Qingqing, you are really big-hearted. You might be struck by lightning very soon and you are still in the mood to roast meat." Yun Chuzhou was not as timid as before. She glanced at her and said indifferently, "It's none of your business. Get lost." Min Dai was instantly stunned and then said angrily, "Yan Qingqing, have you eaten a bear's heart or a leopard's guts? How dare you talk to me like this? Aren't you afraid that I will teach you a lesson? I've already looked up to you since PM willing to talk to you. Don't disturb my barbecue or else I'll kill you." Yun Chuzhou said faintly as she roasted the meat. Now that they had already entered the Thunder Valley, her little white rabbit's foxtail could naturally be exposed. Chapter 5661. Whatever. When the girls beside Min Dai saw this, they immediately said angrily, "Yan Qingqing, are you itching for a fight? This is the Thunder Valley. If you obediently apologize to Min Dai, we might be able to take care of you if you run into danger. If you are stubborn, we won't care about you even if you are struck to death by lightning." Yun Chuzhou didn't even lift her eyelids and said indifferently, "Whatever." When those girls saw Yun Chuzhou's indifferent attitude, they were naturally furious. One of them sneered and said, "I know. During the day, Sect Master Yuan said that he would take care of you, so you think you have a backer, don't you? You're really naive. We have a total of 700 to 800 people and there are only 8 lecturers. How can we take care of her? Since she is courting death, why should we care about her? Let the heavenly lightning strike her a few times and she will know her limits." Min Dai and the others felt that what she said made sense. They mocked her a few times and ignored Yun Chujio. Buttface, who was in Yun Chujia's spirit beast bag, curled his lips. A bunch of stupid humans. Let the heavenly lightning strike her a few times and she will know her limits? If the black-hearted little girl was struck by the heavenly lightning a few times, they would be the ones who would know her limits. After Yun Chujio finished roasting the meat, she did not eat it. Instead, she eagerly carried the roasted meat to Sect Master Yuan and said, "Sect Master Yuan, I've roasted some meat. Have a taste." He Xingjiu intentionally removed the word Sect Master Yuan from Sect Master Yuan's name, unconsciously bringing them closer to each other. At this moment, Sect Master Hao and the others from the Middle Scope Spirit Energy Branch were surrounding Deputy Sect Master Xiao and exchanging pleasantries. On the other hand, Sect Master Yuan could not bear to see Deputy Sect Master Xiao meditating alone at the side. Seeing Yun Chujio come over, he was a little touched. Humans were all emotional creatures. He was more or less ostracized by the other lecturers. Seeing that Yun Chujio was so considerate, his face couldn't help but ease up a little. He had already taken the fasting pill. He wanted to refuse, but seeing Yun Chujio's expectant eyes and the aroma of the roasted meat, he picked up a skewer and started eating. He Xingjiu also picked up a skewer and started eating. Then she said, "Sect Master Yuan, you are very knowledgeable. Tell me about this Thunder Valley so that I don't accidentally lose my life." Sect Master Yuan saw the worship on Yun Chujio's face. Although he didn't talk much usually, he still chatted with Yun Chujio. When Min Dai and the others saw this scene, they were all filled with envy, jealousy and hatred. The Sect Master Yuan was actually so kind and amiable to Yen Qingqing. Could it be that he was that greedy? A few skewers of barbecued meat were enough to bribe him? They were the real students of the spirit faculty. That Yen Qingqing was from the fire faculty. Min Dai couldn't take it anymore. She simply thickened her skin and went over, wanting to hear what Sect Master Yuan was saying. It would be a waste if she didn't listen. When the other students saw that someone had taken the lead and surrounded them, they would occasionally raise their own questions. For a moment, they laughed and cheered, dispelling a trace of disappointment that had been lingering in Sect Master Yuan's heart. When he saw the students' inquisitive gazes, he sighed in his heart. It didn't matter if it was the upper house or the lower house. In any case, they were all teaching and educating people. There was no need to compare themselves with others. When Deputy Director Xiaofu saw that the lower house was talking and laughing merrily, a trace of contempt flashed across his eyes. They were just a bunch of trash. The next evening, the group arrived at a shallow beach. The width of the river here was only 1/3 of the other places. Moreover, the river water was so clear that one could see the bottom. It was the best choice to lead to the north bank. Even so, the lecturers still urged the students to be more careful and not to be careless. Chapter 56-62 Rocks if they had to cross the river one by one. Then the question of who would be the first to cross the river in the 3 courtyards was right in front of them. Vice Sect Master Xiao glanced at Sect Master Yuan and said, "The lower house will go first." Sect Master Yuan's face darkened slightly. Even a fool would know that the person who went first was testing the waters. If there was any danger, he would be the first to bear the brunt. However, he had no way to refuse. He could only say to the people of the lower house with a sullen face, "All of you follow behind me. 5 people in a group, be on high alert." Seeing that Sect Master Yuan was actually taking the lead, the spirits immediately felt a warmth in their hearts and nodded in agreement. Sect Master Yuan immediately walked into the river and headed towards the north bank. Even though he had been to the Thunder Valley several times before, and even though the Thunder Valley had the lowest risk factor among the several places that produced thunder-striking stones, he still did not dare to be careless. When the Spirit Department students saw that Sect Master Yuan was acting like this, their hearts were in their throats, and they carefully followed Sect Master Yuan toward the north bank. After a quarter of an hour, all the Spirit Department students from the lower house had arrived at the north bank, and nothing unexpected happened. Seeing this, the students from the upper house and the middle house heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts, and they even showed a hint of disdain. Those trash from the lower house were really not presentable. They could have passed in a quarter of an hour, yet they were still so paranoid and delayed for such a long time. Therefore, when they went into the water, they were much more relaxed than the students from the lower school. Some even had the leisure to look around. One of the students from the middle school saw a stone under his feet that was emitting a lustrous light. He could not help but feel delighted and bent down to pick up the stone. However, when his hand touched the stone, he felt a sharp pain in his finger, as if someone had pricked it with a needle. He could not help but let out a scream. He stood up straight and looked down to see that his right hand had swelled up and quickly spread to his entire right arm. The others did not know what had happened. Their first reaction was to run frantically towards the north bank. For a moment it was a mess. As the people were all crowded together, some people were pushed to the side. Then there was a series of screams. There was actually someone who was sucked into the vortex that suddenly appeared next to him. What was even more shocking was that the injured student suddenly went crazy. He grabbed a student who was passy. At the critical moment, Director Xiaofu slapped the crazy student. The student flew like a kite with a broken string to the surface of the river in the distance. Then he was swallowed by the vortex and disappeared. Move forward in order. Whoever is more crowded will be severely punished. Director Xiaofu shouted sternly. The students were greatly frightened by this series of unexpected events. They did not dare to act recklessly again. They continued to move forward with fear and trepidation. Finally they arrived at the north bank. It was precisely because that male student touched a rock that 3 students died in an instant. Other than that male student, the other 2 were pushed into the river by the crowd and were swallowed by the whirlpool. Everyone immediately understood the terror of the Thunderbolt Valley. Initially they thought that it was just a rumor and there was no danger. Now it was simply extremely dangerous. A student used his courage to ask a lecturer about the situation of the boy. The lecturer sighed and said, "That's not a rock at all, but a sea beast unique to this river. It disguises itself as a rock and deceives people to touch it. After being pricked by its poisonous thorns, the venom will enter the body through the wound, and then the whole person will go crazy. The most terrifying thing is that the person who is bitten by it will also have the same symptoms as him. There is no antidote for that poison, so Vice Director Zaifa's prompt decision to kill him just now was the best solution." Chapter 5663 Thunder-Devouring Mushroom. After everyone heard the lecturer's reply, they felt a chill run down their spines. They all put away their previous insouciance and became nervous. Director Zaifa's expression was not too good. Although there would be casualties in every trial, he had lost 3 students before anything happened. He was a little careless. What made him even more uneasy was that there was not a single casualty in the lower house. Didn't this mean that he was not as good as that old thing? Therefore he ordered the crowd to not say anything and set up camp on the spot. The crowd did not dare to discuss further. They lit a bonfire and set up camp. Although the night was getting darker, many students did not dare to sleep. It was because the incident during the day had given them too much of a shock. Who knew if something terrible would happen in the middle of the night? On the other hand, Hei Xinjiu took out a modified all-purpose tent and slept soundly inside. When Min Dai and the others saw this, they secretly scolded her for being heartless. The few of them gathered together to boost their courage before they barely fell asleep. Nothing unexpected happened during the night. The next morning, everyone continued on their journey. Yun Chujio looked around as she walked. Previously she could not see clearly through the river. Now that she was closer, she realized that there were many charred rocks on the north bank under the cover of the vegetation. They must have been struck by lightning. According to Sect Master Yuan, the formation of a lightning strike rock required the right time and place. Therefore, even if it was a rock of the same material, a large portion of it couldn't be turned into a lightning strike rock. 4 hours later, the lecturer who led the way pushed aside the lush vegetation on the side of the mountain. Everyone was shocked to find that there was actually a gap there. Everyone followed the lecturer and continued to move forward. Yun Chujio thought to herself that if she hadn't followed these people, she wouldn't have been able to find the location of the lightning strike rock. This was too secretive. After everyone entered the gap, they realized that the deeper they went, the wider the path became. The vegetation on the ground was also becoming less and less. They could occasionally see charred black rocks on the ground. Everyone was faintly excited. They estimated that they would be able to find the lightning strike stone very soon. Hei Xinjiu was also very excited. Little babies, their elder sister is here. After walking for another hour, faint crackling sounds could be heard. Everyone's spirits were lifted. This was the sound when the lightning. Sure enough, a moment later, everyone saw a few pieces of lightning stones scattered on the ground in front of them, releasing the power of lightning. Immediately, a student ran over impatiently. Before the instructor leading the way could stop him, the student had already run to the front. At this moment, countless mycelium extended from the ground and tightly wrapped around the student, like a huge cocoon. Director Zaifa's face was ashen. Anyone who dares to act on their own will be killed without mercy. Everyone immediately shivered. They were also a little restless just now. After all, the lightning strike stones were too tempting. According to the Academy's rules, They only needed to hand in the required number of lightning strike stones. The rest could all be owned by individuals. How could they not be excited? The instructor who led the way sighed. Lightning-devouring mushrooms grow in most places where lightning strike stones gather. They are nourished by the power of lightning and are also the guardians of these lightning strike stones. We can only collect the lightning strike stones after we have eliminated these lightning-devouring mushrooms. All of you should move in groups now. Release spiritual beasts to attract the lightning-devouring mushrooms and then kill them in groups. The upper house will be divided into 2 groups, the middle house will be divided into 4 groups, and the lower house will be divided into 8 groups. Let's begin. Vice Director Xiaofu and the others obviously had no intention of interfering. Since it was a training exercise, they naturally had to let these students do it themselves. Everyone immediately began to divide into groups. Hei Xinjiu was embarrassed because no one was forming a group with her. Chapter 56-64, Release your spirit beast. This fellow wasn't in a hurry. He shamelessly muttered to himself, "Sigh, even if I participate in the battle as a good-for-nothing, Peel'll still be a burden. I'd better watch from the side." After saying this fellow moved to the side of Sect Master Yuan, looking as if he was watching a good show. Everyone was furious. What did he mean by taking advantage of others and pretending to be obedient? This was it. Min Dai was so angry that she shouted at Yun Chuzhou, "Yan Qingqing, join our group." Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, "Little butterfly, aren't you afraid that I will drag you down?" Min Dai was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "You are the little butterfly. Your whole family is the little butterfly." However, she still said with a stiff expression, "I'm not afraid. Even if you can't help, you can at least help a little. Alright, since you're trying so hard to invite me, then I'll reluctantly join your group." Hei Xinjiu said shamelessly as she walked to Min Dai's side. Someone started to use the lightning spiritual power to attract the thunder-devouring mushroom. A mushroom that was as tall as an adult immediately jumped out from the ground and chased after the spiritual beast while waving its mycelium. The thunder mushroom was obviously not very intelligent. It was just foolishly attracted into the encirclement. The other teams followed the law and Min Dai's team also attracted a thunder mushroom. Everyone released their spirit beasts to attack the thunder mushroom. Min Dai saw that Yun Chuzhou only released a fireball occasionally and could not help but say angrily, "Yan Qingqing, what are you doing? Why didn't you release your spirit beast?" The others also glared at Yun Chuzhou. In the past they could let it go if they were just small fights. But now, when they were facing the enemy, it was somewhat unjustifiable for her to still be so careless. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes innocently. "Little butterfly, are you sure you want me to release the spirit beast?" "Nonsense. No matter how useless you are, the power of the spirit beast is still greater than the power of the fireballs you throw from time to time," Min Dai said in a bad mood. "Alright, since you insist on me releasing it, then I will release it. Be careful not to be scared," Yun Chuzhou said with a grin. Min Dai snorted coldly. "Why are you talking so much nonsense? Quickly release it." Yun Chuzhou immediately released half of her spirit energy and a red claw appeared in front of everyone. Min Dai and the others. What kind of joke was this? This was a spirit energy beast? Whose spirit energy beast was a claw? Even the thunder-devouring mushroom was stunned for a moment, and then it extended several mice. Min Dai and the others watched helplessly as the red claw did not move at all and allowed the few mycelium to wrap around it until it dissipated. Min Dai and the others finally understood why this fellow in front of them did not release the spirit energy beast. It turned out that her spirit energy beast was even more useless than her. However, now was not the time to be sarcastic. Everyone pretended that Yun Chuzhou did not exist and attacked the thunder-eating mushroom with all their might. Yun Chuzhou threw fireballs at the thunder-eating mushroom casually. Her heart had already drifted to those lightning-striking stones. She wished that she could keep all those lightning-striking stones. This fellow ridiculed in her heart. Didn't they say that lightning would strike here from time to time? Why didn't they? Instead, they would strike her with a few heavenly lightning bolts. That was exactly what she wanted. An hour later, the thunder-devouring mushroom that Yun Chuzhou and the rest had trapped finally lost its ability to resist. Its body withered rapidly like a punctured rubber ball. In the end, only a dried thing that looked like tree bark was left. Before Min Dai and the rest could react, the dried thunder-devouring mushroom was put into Hei Xinjia's storage ring. Everyone was so angry that they were twitching. When they were not active in battle, they were more active in snatching the spoils of war than anyone else. Chapter 56-65, The No-Cost Business. Hei Xinjiu bared her little white teeth. It'll help you keep it for now. Otherwise, your fighting power will be affected because of the uneven distribution of the spoils. Everyone was so angry that their teeth were itching. However, they did not have the time to deal with her now. They attracted another thunder-eating mushroom and began a new round of fighting. Hei Shinjio still casually threw 2 fireballs occasionally. After Min Dai and the others killed the thunder-eating mushroom, she shamelessly put the dried thunder-eating mushroom into her storage ring again. Min Dai and the others were about to start a fight when they heard the instructor who led the way say, "All the thunder-eating mushrooms here have been killed. Now you can pick up the thunder-striking stones. However, I want to remind you that although the power of lightning generated by a single thunder-striking stone is not a threat to you, the thunder-eating mushroom might have hidden a part of the power of lightning underground. Some of the lightning strike stones may be connected to the power of lightning. Once you pick up such a lightning strike stone, a huge amount of power of lightning will instantly surge into your body. Therefore, it is best for you to use your spiritual beasts to pick up the lightning strike stones so that you do not suffer heavy injuries." Everyone immediately agreed. After obtaining permission, they could not wait to rush to the front and start searching for the lightning strike stones. Not all the lightning strike stones were exposed. Some were covered by vegetation, soil, or stones and could only be found by searching. Everyone released their spiritual beasts to search for the lightning strike stones. Min Dai and the others looked at Yun Chujio gloatingly. This guy's spiritual beast was just a useless red claw. She could only watch them search for the lightning strike stones. They deserved it. Hei Shinjio blinked her eyes and released her red claw. She shouted, "Little Claw, hurry up and find the lightning strike stones for me. Do you hear me? Are you deaf? I'll let you help me pick up the lightning strike stones." "You dumbass. You're driving me crazy." Seeing that the red claw did not move at all, this guy slapped the red claw away and sat on the ground in anger. He looked like he had broken a jar. Min Dai and the others looked at each other with gloating expressions. However, they were too busy searching for the lightning strike stone to ridicule her. "Xiao Mogu." Hei Shinjio looked dispirited, but she released Xiao Mogu with her right hand under the cover of her sleeve. Xiao Mogu quickly drilled into the ground. The spreading mycelium not only transferred all the lightning power hidden in the ground to Hei Shinjio, but also absorbed all the lightning power in the lightning strike stone that had not been searched yet. Therefore, a moment later, complaints came one after another. "Damn it. I saw that the spiritual beast found the lightning stones just now. How come they turned into waste stones in my hand? Why are these all waste stones? Have they all been cleaned by the lightning-devouring mushrooms? It took me a long time to find none. How depressing." At this moment, Hei Xinjia's heart was bursting with joy. The endless power of lightning was transmitted into her meridians by Xiao Mogu's mycelium. It was simply wonderful. She was really too smart. She had actually thought of such a good idea. This was much better than picking up some lightning strike stones. After all, she still had to hand over a portion of the lightning strike stones that she picked up. It was still a cost-free deal. When the power of lightning was almost fully absorbed, Hei Shinjio put Xiao Mogu back into her spirit beast bag. This fellow felt that he was quite generous. After all, he had left behind dozens of thunderstrike stones for others. Director Xiaofu and the others were also somewhat surprised by the few gains the students had. However, they did not think too much about it. They thought that the thunderstrike stones had been absorbed by the thunder-devouring mushroom, which was why it was like this. Chapter 5666, You said to hold your breath and not hold your breath. Translator. B4Y6Y033 Min Dai and the others could not find a single lightning stone. They were all dejected and very depressed. Yun Chujio sighed. "We are really people who have fallen to the ends of the earth. Here, these are the 2 thunder-eating mushrooms. I'll return them to you. PM a man of my word." Min Dai and the others saw the thunder-eating mushrooms that Yun Chujio handed over. They were indeed a little surprised. This fellow was really only keeping them temporarily? The sun had risen from the north? How could they have known that Hei Shinjio was in such a good mood that she was about to fly away? Naturally, she did not put these 2 thunder-eating mushrooms in her eyes. The instructor who led the way brought everyone back the way they came. At this time, the sky had already turned dark. Director Xiaofu ordered everyone to set up camp on the spot. Everyone surrounded the bonfire and talked about what had happened during the day. Min Dai and the others were no exception. Hei Shinjio shamelessly went over. Min Dai and the others remembered that this fellow did not covet the 2 thunder-devouring mushrooms. Although they glared at her, they did not chase her away. "Thank you for taking care of me during the day. I'll roast meat for you to eat," Hei Shinjio said with a smile. Although Min Dai and the others were a little surprised, they thought about it again. This Yen Qingqing was most likely frightened by the day's events, so she came to curry favor with them. After all, Sect Master Yuan could not always take care of her, she wanted to cling onto their thighs. With that thought in mind, they didn't mind and waited for Yun Chujio to roast the meat in peace. The reason why He Xinjiu was so kind-hearted was that this fellow was too happy. Moreover, such a good deed could only be kept in her stomach and couldn't be told to others. If she didn't do something, she felt that she might go crazy from being too happy. Thus, this fellow was like a diligent little bee helping Min Dai and the others roast meat. Of course, he didn't forget to send some to Sect Master Yuan. When Min Dai and the others saw Yun Chujio like this, their disgust towards her lessened a little. After all, there wasn't any deep hatred between them. It was mainly because of the matter with Beiyu. Of course, a large part of it was also because Yun Chujio was too cocky and too good at drawing hatred. Min Dai remembered what happened during the day and asked, "What's wrong with your spirit beast? Why is it only one claw?" Yun Chujio sighed. I was framed by Xiao Lianxiao in the upper house and almost fell into the underground fire cellar. I was too scared, that's why it's like this. Min Dai and the others had heard of this matter and knew that it was because of this matter that Beiyu was moved by Yen Qingqing. It could be said that it was a blessing in disguise. However, it looked like Yen Qingqing had also paid a heavy price. If she could only release that useless claw in the future, her future would be bleak. People sympathized with the weak. After Min Dai and the others noticed that Yun Chujio was also very pitiful with the truth, they did not hold a grudge against her anymore. The next morning, everyone found a place that was similar to yesterday. After killing those thunder-devouring mushrooms, they began to pick up the lightning stones. Yun Chujio still released her red claws. After making a lot of noise, she sat on the ground and started to absorb the power of lightning. This guy was so beautiful. She had never dreamed of such a good thing. It was so easy and safe to absorb the power of lightning. Was there such a good thing in the world? She must be too kind. Therefore she was touched by the heavens and touched by the heavens, giving her such a wonderful opportunity to absorb the power of lightning. This guy was happy, but those students with thunder spirit roots were very depressed. After spending a long time to kill so many thunder-eating mushrooms, she finally found out that the thunder-striking stones here were all useless. How could she hold her breath? Chapter 56-67 was dug out. The students were depressed, and so were the lecturers, especially Director Xiaofu. He felt that this experiential learning was not going well at all. First, he lost 3 students while crossing the river, and then he lost another student while collecting the lightning strike stones. The most unfortunate thing was that the 2 lightning strike stones in succession were produced from very few places. Generally speaking, the production of lightning strike stones was directly proportional to the number of lightning mushroom. Clearly, the number of lightning mushroom in these 2 places was not small, so why was the number of lightning strike stones so small? Was it really just bad luck? Instead of ordering everyone to leave immediately, Director Xiaofu took a few lecturers and carefully observed the waste stones on the ground. He Xinjia's expression was the same as the others, but her heart skipped a beat. She couldn't see anything wrong, could she? One of the lecturers held a piece of waste stone and said, "Director Xiaofu, there is still some residual temperature on this piece of waste stone. It is obvious that the power of thunder and lightning inside has just been absorbed." A lecturer beside him echoed, "That's right. The same goes for this piece of rock in my hand. Could it be that there are still some lightning-eating mushrooms that haven't been drawn out?" Director Hao of the middle school shook his head. Even if there aren't any lightning-eating mushrooms that have been drawn out, it's impossible for them to absorb so many lightning-striking rocks in such a short period of time. There must be something else going on here. Director Xiaofu frowned. "Dig it up and well know what's up." As he spoke, he released a giant wolf of spirit energy. The 4 legs of this giant wolf had already materialized. The students cried out in surprise. Even the upper academy senior students inside could only materialize 3 claws of the spirit energy beast. As for Min Dai and the others, they could only materialize half a claw pitifully. Under the command of Director Xiaofu, the huge spiritual wolf waved its 4 huge claws, causing dust to fly into the air. Soon a few deep pits were dug out. Director Xiaofu and the others examined it carefully. Although they found some tiny gaps left by the mycelium, they thought that it was left by the thunder-devouring mushroom and did not suspect anything. Even so, He Xinjiu was frightened and decided to hold back for now. There was no hurry. Therefore, the next day when she found a new lightning stone, He Xinjiu did not let Xiao Mogu make a move. She looked at the crowd with a pained expression. Especially when she saw that the lightning power hidden underground had been activated and wasted, her heart ached even more. Although this guy looked happy for the crowd, his heart was bleeding. This was originally hers. This fellow was unwilling and attacked again the next day. This time this fellow had learned his lesson. He only allowed Xiao Mogu to absorb the lightning energy hidden underground by the thunder-devouring mushroom and did not touch those lightning stones. Although doing this would reduce the lightning energy absorbed, it was still better than nothing. As expected this time, it did not attract the suspicion of everyone. Hei Shinjo could not help but heave a sigh of relief. A mosquito's leg was also meat. One should be content with what one has. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days had passed. The students were already familiar with it. The shadow of the death of their companions had also been washed away by joy. They felt that this Thunder Valley was nothing much, so there was no need to worry too much. The students of the upper house and the middle house were increasingly dissatisfied with the people of the lower house. They looked at the people of the lower house with eyes full of disdain. They felt that although the lower house had more people to contribute in killing the thunder-eating mushroom, the number of kills was about the same as theirs. However, due to the large number of people in the lower house, they had a huge advantage when they picked up the thunder-eating stone. This was really too unfair. Chapter 56-68 was to be carried out in batches due to the dissatisfaction. The friction between the students of the 3 academies increased and the atmosphere became a little stagnant. In fact, if Vice Director Xiaofu had reprimanded them, the students of the upper and middle academies would have restrained themselves a lot. However, he didn't do anything and allowed the situation to become more and more serious. Sect Master Yuan immediately understood Vice Director Xaifa's intention. He was forcing him to take the initiative to carry out separate operations. What a narrow-minded person. He did not understand why Vice Director Xiaofu was so hostile to him. They did not have any interaction in the first place. What was the reason? However, no matter what the reason was, he could not let the situation continue to escalate. He took the initiative to look for Vice Director Xiaofu. Vice Director Xiaofu, in order to prevent the situation from escalating, our lower house should collect the lightning strike stone alone. Vice Director Xiaofu didn't even bother to say any hypocritical pleasantries. He immediately nodded in agreement. That's fine too. This way we can also avoid the displeasure between the students. In the middle court, Sect Master Hao looked at Sect Master Yuan apologetically but didn't say anything. The other lecturers didn't say anything either. Other than Sect Master Yuan, the lower house didn't have any other lecturers accompanying them. In fact, if these people understood the general situation, they should have taken the initiative to join the lower house. After all, there were so many people in the lower house. Sect Master Yuan alone wouldn't be able to take care of them. However, no one made a sound. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Sect Master Yuan's mouth. He returned to his tent without saying anything. The next morning, when Vice Director Xiaofu made this decision, the students from the upper house and the middle house were naturally elated. However, the students from the lower house were a little panicked. Once they separated, their strength would be greatly reduced. What if they encountered danger? Could they rely on Sect Master Yuan alone to turn the tide? However, things had already come to this point, so there was no use saying anything. The students of the upper and middle school looked at the people of the lower house with a rather smug expression. Under the lead of Vice Director Xiaofu, they strutted away. They could conclude that the people of the lower house were definitely in a sorry state. The number of thunderstruck stones could not be compared to them. After the figures of Vice Director Xiaofu and the others disappeared, Sect Master Yuan swept his gaze across the crowd. He did not say anything about this batch operation. He only emphasized discipline and divided the crowd into 10 groups and appointed 10 team leaders. This way he could ease the pressure on him. Yun Chujio felt that Sect Master Yuan was more suitable to make decisions than Vice Director Xiaofu. That Vice Director Xiaofu had an arrogant look on his face. Sooner or later he would be in trouble. After Sect Master Yuan had made the necessary arrangements, he gave the order to set off. The atmosphere in the team was a little depressing. The crowd was not as cheerful as they had been a few days ago. Their feelings were complicated. There were those who were despised by the upper house and the middle house, and those who were abandoned. There were also some who were worried about the unknown dangers. Of course, there were also those who were happy, such as Hei Shinjo. Without Deputy Director Xiaofu and the other lecturers, Sect Master Yuan could not keep an eye on her at all times. It would be even safer if she were to do something small. Just as this fellow was feeling happy, he caught a glimpse of Xiao Lianping's unfriendly gaze. Yun Chujia's lips curled slightly. Is he going to make a move? Very good, I won't kill you. Sect Master Yuan had been to the Thunder Valley a few times before, so he knew the distribution of the lightning striking stones like the back of his hand. Soon he led everyone to a place where the lightning-striking stones were produced. Just as Sect Master Yuan was about to let everyone in, he found a bright red mark on the stone wall at the entrance. This was the unique mark of the 10 Directions Academy, which meant that the people from the lower house and the middle house had already entered. Sect Master Yuan had no choice but to lead the people from the lower house to continue looking for the next place. Chapter 5669 was no match for Yen Jingcheng. Sect Master Yuan was not dissatisfied. After all, first come, first served. However, when he led the people from the lower house to the next lightning stone producing area in a hurry, he found another bright red mark on the stone wall at the entrance. Sect Master Yuan's expression immediately turned ugly. However, he thought that perhaps the people from the upper house and the middle house had also separated, so they occupied 2 producing areas. With this thought, he put down the dissatisfaction in his heart and continued to lead the people from the lower house on their journey. However, when he saw that another lightning strike stone site had been marked, Sect Master Yuan's expression completely darkened. It was obvious that Deputy Director Xiaofu and the others had done it on purpose. They had deliberately occupied 3 lightning strike stone sites, so that Sect Master Yuan and the others had wasted a day's time. The next lightning strike stone producing area was half a day's journey away from here, and it was already Shinshur. There was no time to find the next lightning strike stone producing area. The students of the lower house were not fools. They had also thought of this and their faces were full of anger. The upper house and the middle house had gone too far. They were all students of the 10 Directions Academy. Was there a need to go so far? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and walked to the stone wall. She took out cheap slut number 1 and cut off a piece of the stone wall with the red mark. Then she turned it into powder with a slap. Under everyone's confused eyes, Hei Shinjio calmly put cheap slut number 1 into her storage ring and clapped with a smile. Sect Master, I told you that Vice Director Xiaofu wouldn't go so far. There really is no mark here. This is great. Let's hurry in. If we delay any longer, the sky will turn dark. Sect Master Yuan was stunned at first, then his eyes revealed a trace of a smile. That makes sense. Everyone follow me in. The others were dumbfounded, but they still subconsciously followed Sect Master Yuan into the room. After walking for a while, everyone finally reacted. The upper house and the middle house were damaged, but they still couldn't win against Yen Qingqing. The wicked will be tortured by the wicked. To deal with those shameless people from the upper house and the middle house, Yen Qingqing still had to take action. After a quarter of an hour, everyone arrived at the origin of the lightning strike stone. However, they encountered a lecturer and a few upper house students. The mark on the stone wall must have been left by them. When Lecturer Yen saw Sect Master Yuan and the people from the lower house, he could not help but be stunned. He said, Sect Master Yuan, this? You did not see th. Sect Master Yuan was stunned. Mark? What mark? The people of the lower house all gave a thumbs up in their hearts. The acting skills of the sect master were high. If they didn't know the inside story, they would have really thought that the sect master didn't see the mark. When Instructor Yin saw Sect Master Yuan like this, he could only say, I left a mark on the stone wall at the entrance. This place has already been taken by US first. Sect Master Yuan, please move to another place. Instructor Yin, are you joking? Did you really mark the entrance? Along the way, we've already found 2 marked lightning strike stone producing areas. If this place had also been marked, wasn't this thing done a little too far? Is this forcing our lower house to return empty-handed today? Could it be that Vice Director Xiaofu arranged for you to do this? When Sect Master Yuan finished speaking, his tone already carried a bit of sternness. Instructor Yen secretly complained in his heart. Looking at the situation, if he admitted that there was a mark, Sect Master Yuan would definitely not let it go. These were all people from the lower house. If they argued, he would not be able to gain the slightest advantage. Moreover, he was not Vice Director Xiaofu. He did not dare to go against Sect Master Yuan. Chapter 5670, Please treat me better in the future. After weighing the pros and cons in his heart, Instructor Yen squeezed out a smile and said, Sect Master Yuan, I was indeed joking just now. Vice Sect Master Xiao sent us here in advance to help you explore the way. Since you have already arrived, we will take our leave first. Then thank you very much. However, since we have already split up, we won't need to trouble Vice Sect Master Xiao to do so much in the future. I would like to trouble Instructor Yen to convey my intentions to Vice Sect Master Xiao, Sect Master Yuan said indifferently. Sect Master Yen laughed dryly and agreed. Then he led the few upper academy students away in dejection. Sect Master Yuan ignored them and said to the crowd, "Divide into groups and kill the thunder-devouring mushrooms. Be careful." The crowd immediately divided into groups and used spiritual beasts to lure the thunder-devouring mushrooms out of the ground. Then they divided into groups and killed them. These thunder-devouring mushrooms would not take the initiative to attack humans unless they stepped into their sphere of influence. This was also the reason why Sect Master Yen and the students were safe and sound. Yun Chujio was still in a group with Min Dai and the others. Because Hei Shinjio had made a great contribution today, Min Dai and the others treated her much better. Min Dai even asked her to watch the battle from the side. There was no need to fight. Hei Shinjio shook her head. Having more people means more power. I can't be special. Moreover, I'm atoning for my crime and making contributions. I can't be lazy. When Min Dai and the others heard this, their impression of her became a little better. They reflected in their hearts. Perhaps they had wronged her before. In fact, she was quite kind. Without the help of the students from the upper and middle school, they spent a lot more effort than usual to kill all the thunder-eating mushrooms here. However, when they saw the scattered thunder-striking stones not far away, everyone's fatigue was swept away. They began to pick up the thunder-striking stones excitedly. Hei Shinjio did the same thing. First, she released her red claws and cursed. Then, she sat on the ground dejectedly and secretly used Xiao Mogu to absorb the power of the thunder and lightning underground. At this moment, the sky was already getting dark. Sect Master Yuan urged everyone to quickly pick up the lightning strike stones to prevent any unexpected changes. After Yun Chujio had finished absorbing the power of lightning underground, she moved closer to Sect Master Yuan and asked curiously, "Sect Master, can't we spend the night here? There's no wind here and there." Sect Master Yuan found her very pleasing to the eye and explained, "You might not know this, but since this is the place where lightning strikes rocks are produced, the probability of being struck by lightning is much higher than other places. It's possible that we might be struck by lightning here. Also, don't look at those lightning-devouring mushrooms that have already been killed by us. However, some of their spores will remain deep underground. At night, they will fly out from underground, and their attack power is comparable to a large group of demonic insects. Therefore, it's very dangerous to stay here." Yun Chujio finally came to a realization. Although this fellow really wanted to stay here and wait for the lightning to strike, she also knew that the probability of a heavenly lightning strike was not high. Moreover, Sect Master Yuan could not possibly leave her here alone. She could only reluctantly leave with Sect Master Yuan and the others. When Min Dai saw that she was unhappy, she thought that it was because of the lightning strike stone. She painfully took out a lightning strike stone and handed it to her. "You have also put in a lot of effort these days. This lightning strike stone is yours." Yun Chujio immediately accepted it without hesitation. If she didn't want it, it would be a waste. Min Dai thought that Yun Chujio would reject it no matter what. She didn't expect that she would actually accept it so readily. Her heart hurt even more. Yun Chujio saw her like this and said with a smile, "Little butterfly, don't worry. It's not a loss for you to give me this lightning strike stone. You will be rewarded well. A person like me who is favored by God will definitely bring you good luck. So, you should treat me better in the future." Chapter 5671 Minute Dai glared at Hei Shinjio. She felt that she had gone crazy just now. She actually felt that she was a little pitiful. What the hell? Sect Master Yuan led everyone to a place where they could take shelter from the wind and set up camp. Just as everyone had finished packing, they saw Vice Director Xiaofu and the others rush over. Everyone couldn't help but look at Sect Master Yuan. There was some worry in their eyes. They were afraid that Vice Director Xiaofu would make trouble because of the marking. Unexpectedly, neither Vice Director Xiaofu nor the other lecturers mentioned the mark. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Vice Director Xiaofu said with a fake smile, "Sect Master Yuan, we have taken down 2 lightning strike stone producing areas today. Your lower house only took down 1. It be seen that our speed is twice as fast as yours." Sect Master Yuan thought that Vice Director Xiaofu said this to show off. He couldn't help but feel that he was a little childish. He was too lazy to argue with him, so he said cooperatively, "The students of the upper and middle school are much stronger than those of the lower house, so their efficiency will naturally be higher." A trace of success flashed through Vice Director Zaifa's eyes. "Since the difference in efficiency between our two sides is so great, then when we reach the fork in the road ahead tomorrow, your lower house will follow the side road to look for the lightning strike stone. Just leave the main road to us." Sect Master Yuan was stunned at first, but when he reacted, he could not help but burn with anger. There was a fork in the road dozens of miles ahead. The main road had dense lightning strike stone producing areas, while the lightning strike stone producing areas on the branch road were sparse. They could only encounter one place a day. If their luck was not good, they might not even encounter one place a day. Even a fool would know that they should take the main road. Moreover, even if both of them took the main road, it would not affect them. After all, there were so many resources on the main road. Vice Sect Master Shao, what do you mean? There are so many resources on the main road. Why do you want us to go to the branch road? Sect Master Yuan asked coldly. Vice Sect Master Shao said with slight mockery, Sect Master Yuan, I don't mean anything by it. I just want to make the best use of it. The students of the upper house and the middle house had higher cultivations, so they deserved better opportunities for trials. They should not spend all their energy on traveling. As for the students of the lower house, their cultivations were not high. Traveling more would help them recover some of their strength and cultivation so that they would not be powerless when they encountered demon beasts or danger. You also know that although we did not encounter any demon beasts along the way, we would encounter rare lightning-type demon beasts on the main road ahead. Not only will the students of the lower house not be able to help much, they will also have to divert the attention of the students of the upper house and the middle house to look after the students of the lower house. Not to mention other things, your team also has a fire spirit root at the 9th level of spirit extinguisher. With such a burden, it's better to take a side road. Sect Master Yuan's face was livid with anger. Deputy Sect Master Shao was obviously twisting the facts. Sect Master Hao and the other lecturers of the middle school still did not express any opinions. It was obvious that they all followed Deputy Sect Master Xaiaphus' lead. Sect Master Yuan knew that it was useless for him to argue even if he was alone. Moreover, if he forcefully went to the main road, there would inevitably be friction between the students. If this caused death or injury, it would be bad. He took a deep breath and after a long while, he squeezed out a few words from between his teeth. All right. We will do as you say. Vice Sect Master Xiaofu revealed a smug expression and nodded. Sect Master Yuan is indeed wise. We'll meet here in half a month. Sect Master Yuan suppressed his anger and said, all right, it's a deal. Chapter 5672 Thick Skin was also a skill director. Xiaofu and Sect Master Yuan's conversation did not avoid the students, so everyone listened to most of it. Min Dai was so angry that she gritted her teeth and said in a low voice, this deputy director Xiaofu is too much. Isn't this forcing us to take the side roads? Even if we think with our toes, the side roads are definitely much worse than the main roads. The others also echoed, that's right. They seized 3 lightning strike producing areas during the day. It's obvious that they are targeting the lower house. That's right. If it weren't for Yen Qingcheng's cleverness, we would have fled in panic today. How did our lower house offend him? Is there a need to be so aggressive? I don't think that Vice Director Xiaofu is targeting the lower house. He seems to be targeting Sect Master Yuan instead. This is too much. He Xinjia's expression wasn't too good either. It was one thing for them to split up before, but now they were being chased to the side road. Wouldn't she have to absorb a lot less lightning? Damn it, why didn't Director Xiaofu die from the heavenly lightning? Boom. A purple heavenly lightning descended from the sky and struck Director Xiaofu. Director Xiaofu was feeling a little smug as he accepted the flattery of the other lecturers. Even in his dreams, he did not expect that a bolt of lightning would suddenly descend from the sky. Even though this was the Thunder Valley, there were still signs before the lightning descended. For example, Wu Yun was covered in dark clouds or a strong wind was blowing. Therefore, Director Xiaofu was not prepared at all. This bolt of lightning really struck on Director Xaiaphus' body. Fortunately, he had a lightning spirit root, so there was not much damage. It was just that smoke was coming from the strike. Seeing this, Hei Xinjiu kept muttering in her heart. 1 more. No, 100 more. Kill that bastard. However, the Jinx skill failed again and nothing unusual happened. Hei Xinjiu sighed in her heart. It seemed that it was really only effective when the unintentional curse was used. The skill was really strange. The few lecturers beside Director Xiaofu were also affected, and they all looked at the sky nervously. The bright moon hung in the sky and there were no clouds in the sky. No matter how they looked at it, they felt that the lightning just now was very strange. Vice Director Xiaofu was angry, but there was nothing he could do. He couldn't scold the heavens, right? He didn't have the mood to listen to the lecturer's flattery. He crawled into his tent with a dirty look on his face. Sect Master Yuan and the students from the lower academy were very relieved. They felt that the heavens had opened their eyes and helped them vent their anger. Yun Chujio listened to Min Dai and the others' gloating discussion, but she sighed in her heart. Could it be that they could only go to the side road? She pondered for a long time but couldn't think of any solution. If they went to the side road, then they could go to the side road. If they were lucky, they would be struck by lightning and have everything. The next morning everyone set off. When they reached the fork in the road, the students from the upper house and the middle house arrogantly stepped onto the main road while the students from the lower house bitterly turned onto the side road. Min Dai and the others were all dejected. This trial had really dealt a huge blow to their confidence. Even though they could also enter the middle house in the future, the momentary psychological difference made it difficult for them to accept. Sect Master Yuan didn't say anything. The path of cultivation wasn't just about one's appearance and diligence, but also the courage to face setbacks. Thinking of this, Sect Master Yuan couldn't help but look at the carefree He Xinjiu. To a certain extent, this Yan Qingqing was much stronger than these students, so being thick-skinned was also a kind of skill. Chapter 56-73 Thunderclap Poison Moth 4 hours later, the group arrived at the first lightning strike stone-producing area. Sect Master Yuan said to the group, "Other than the lightning-devouring mushroom, there are also lightning-type demon beasts here. However, the lightning-type demon beasts on the side roads are much weaker than the ones on the main roads. Even so, most of them are moon seal lightning-type demon beasts. You must act cautiously." Everyone's hearts trembled. Most of them were at the 7th to 9th level of the divine enlightenment realm. If they were to fight alone, they would not be a match for moon-type demon beasts, let alone rare lightning-type demon beasts. Therefore, they temporarily put aside their previous self-pity and raised their vigilance. Everyone followed the opening and walked for about 2 miles. Suddenly the front was clear. There were some scorched black rocks scattered on the ground. They did not find any lightning-striking rocks, nor did they see any lightning-devouring mushrooms or lightning-type demon beasts. Everyone was suspicious. Could this be an abandoned lightning-striking rock production area? At this moment, Sect Master Yuan explained, "This place is guarded by the lightning-devouring mushrooms and lightning-type demon beasts, so the lightning-striking rocks here are all hidden underground or in their nests. Everyone don't be careless." Almost as soon as Sect Master Yuan finished speaking, countless large silver moths rushed towards them from the stone wall covered by weeds. These moths were about the size of a wash basin, and there was a red crescent mark on their heads. As they flapped their wings, silver lightning crackled. These are the Type 2 thunder poison moths with the moon mark. Everyone be careful. Sect Master Yuan reminded. Although everyone was panicking, they had fought with the thunder-devouring mushroom before, so they immediately began to fight with the thunder poison moths. The thunder-eating poison moths attacked with silver arrows shot out from their wings. Moreover, the arrows were faintly glowing with blue light. It was obvious that they were poisonous. The thunder-eating poison moths were not allowed to fly in the Thunder Valley, so they were not too high up. Otherwise they would be even harder to deal with. Even so, the crowd and the thunder-eating poison moths were still locked in a tight battle. At this moment, many thunder-eating mushrooms emerged from the ground. They waved their mycelium and joined the battle. The students of the lower house were at a disadvantage for a moment. They had to take into account the thunder-eating poisonous moth on top of their heads and also be careful of the mycelium of the thunder-eating mushrooms. They were a little flustered. Min Dai and the others were all new-stewed. Their cultivation levels were already low, so they were even more flustered. Yun Chujio shouted, "Form a circle. 4 people deal with the thunder-eating poisonous moth. 4 people deal with the thunder-eating mushrooms. It'll finish the job." Min Dai and the others were also desperate. When they heard Yun Chujio's words, they did not have time to think too much and immediately followed her instructions. Needless to say, this way, the situation was indeed somewhat alleviated. In addition, He Xinjiu secretly added a small flame into the fireball. The few of them quickly killed a few thunder moth and thunder mushroom. When the other students saw this, they followed suit. As time passed, they gradually gained the upper hand. Sect Master Yuan stood at the periphery. He would only attack when he saw that a student's life was in danger. He spent most of the remaining time watching from the side. The thunder moth and the thunder mushroom did not dare to approach him when they felt the pressure from his body. Therefore, no matter if it was a human or a demon beast, they would always bully the weak and fear the strong. Xiao Yinping had been observing Yun Chujio's position while fighting. He had a plan to guide his group to approach Yun Chujio's group. Suddenly, a cold light flashed in his eyes. He deliberately provoked a thunder moth, which immediately shot several silver arrows at him. He dodged the silver arrows and the silver arrows shot towards Yun Chujio. Chapter 5674. She was going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the sun. Xiao Lianping sneered in his heart. At this moment Yan Qingcheng's back was facing him. She was also a waste. Those silver arrows would definitely hit her. Those silver arrows were highly poisonous. Even if she did not die, she would at least be skinned alive. Even if she did not die, he would find another opportunity to send her on her way. Unfortunately, Yun Chujio had already seen Xiao Lianping. Hence, when those silver arrows shot over, she deftly sidestepped to avoid the direction that those silver arrows would hit. However, she never expected that Min Dai just happened to dodge the mycelium of a thunder mushroom and leap towards her original position. Yun Chujio subconsciously pushed Min Dai away. Although her speed was very fast, she was still hit by a silver arrow on her left shoulder. Min Dai was scared silly. Yun Chujio shouted, "What are you standing there for? Continue to kill." Min Dai commanded the spirit beast to continue fighting while sobbing, You, that arrow is poisonous, poisonous." Yun Chujio thought to herself, "I am impervious to all poisons. This bit of poison is nothing." However, this fellow still forced out a head full of cold sweat. He gritted his teeth and said, "As long as you are fine, this bit of poison is nothing." Min Dai immediately cried out, "This poison will kill. You quickly go and find Sect Master Yuan to detoxify the poison. Quickly go." At this moment, Sect Master Yuan noticed the situation here. His expression immediately changed. He leaped over and carried Yun Chujio to the periphery of the battlefield. His expression was somewhat solemn. He took out a small porcelain bottle, poured out a black pill and a white pill, and said, "The white pill will stop the bleeding and the black pill will dispel the poison. After you consume it, immediately meditate on the spot and force out the poison in your body. Quick. If you delay any longer, the poison gas will spread, and the consequences will be unimaginable." In fact, He Xinjiu, who had nothing to worry about, cooperatively swallowed the pill, and then began to meditate. Of course, the two pills naturally benefited Gowei Batsao. After He Xinjiu meditated, she began to pretend to expel the poison, and then her body stiffened. Sect Master Yuan had been observing her condition and quickly asked, "What's?" He Xinjiu grinned, "Nothing, it just hurts a little. Injuries and pain are inevitable. Quickly expel the poison." Sect Master Yuan could not help but shake his head and laugh. No matter how crafty this little girl was, she was just a little girl. Yun Chujio nodded, then closed her eyes and continued to meditate. At this time, a storm was raging in this guy's heart. Because she strangely discovered that after she was attacked by the silver arrow, the spiritual power in her body actually increased by a little bit. Although the increase in spiritual power was negligible, she was different from others. She could sense even the slightest increase in spiritual power. He Xinjiu's mind was blank at first, then she was ecstatic. What did it mean? It meant that the thunder moth was the moving power of lightning. She only needed to be wounded by them to absorb the power of lightning from the attacks. Only the thunder moth's attacks were like that? Or could she absorb all the attacks of the thunder demon beast? Then what about those thunder-devouring mushrooms? What about the people with thunder spirit roots? If she could absorb all of them, would she worry about not having the power of thunder and lightning to absorb them? Oh my God, she was going to be rich. She was going to be rich. She was going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the sun. If it wasn't for the wrong occasion, if it wasn't for Sect Master Yuan standing next to her, she would definitely laugh 3 times and let those moths attack her with all their might. It would be best if they shot her into a sieve. Chapter 5675, Sacrificing Oneself for Others. He Xinjiu was so excited that she was about to tremble. The thing that she was most worried about was the thunder famine. If her guess was true, wouldn't she find someone with thunder spirit root to fight in the future when she lacked thunder spirit energy? Wouldn't that be great? After a while, this fellow calmed down. She shouldn't be too blindly optimistic. It might just be a coincidence. She had to find an opportunity to let the moths shoot at her again. This fellow pretended to meditate for a while more before standing up. "Sect Master, I forced out the remaining poison in my body. It's no longer a big deal." Sect Master Yuan was stunned. "You forced it out so quickly?" Yun Chujio nodded with certainty and even deliberately circled around the spot. "My physical fitness is good. Look, I'm really fine." Sect Master Yuan saw that she was in high spirits, so he believed her. He thought that God was indeed fair. This Yan Qingcheng's aptitude was average, but her physical fitness was not bad. At this moment, Sect Master Yuan's expression froze. He saw that a group of students were in danger. That group of students was not very lucky. The thunderclap moth that they were attacking was already on the verge of death. However, for some reason, the thunderclap moth's body suddenly shone brightly. It had actually advanced. Just as they were in a daze, the thunderbolt moth shot out several arrows, fanning itself towards them. The few of them weren't paying attention for a moment. Although they avoided most of the arrows, they were still injured by the arrows to varying degrees. The worst thing was that the thunderbolt moth was preparing for another attack. If they couldn't stop it in time, the lives of those students would be in danger. Sect Master Yuan was about to fly over when he saw a figure leap over faster than him. Moreover, he shouted loudly, "Don't be afraid. I'm coming to save you." Sect Master Yuan focused his eyes and saw that the person who flew over was Yan Qingqing. He was angry and anxious. Wasn't this a joke? Was she going to throw her life away? Sect Master Yuan's figure flashed and quickly followed, but he was still a step too late. Yan Qingqing made a perfect turn and blocked all the arrows released by the thunder moth with her own body. To be exact, she used her own body as a shield to help the few students block the arrows. The few students' faces were filled with shock. Even the thunder moth was stunned. There was actually such a stupid human in this world? At this time, Sect Master Yuan had already arrived. He slapped the thunder moth away with one palm and then brought the fainted Yun Chujio and the other injured students to the outer area. The few students looked at He Xinjiu, who had been shot into a sieve with C. They were in disbelief, guilt, gratitude, worry and self-blame. They never thought that Yun Chujio would sacrifice her life to save them. They often ridiculed her and mocked her. She actually disregarded her past grudges and sacrificed her life to save them. They were simply unworthy of being human. Sect Master Yuan sighed. In his opinion, Yun Chujio's life was basically in danger. The external injuries caused by the lightning arrows were not a big deal, but the poison of the thunder moth was too powerful. Even with the detoxification pill, it was difficult to remove all the poison in her body. Sect Master Yuan was, after all, the head of a department. Although he sighed in his heart, he still arranged everything in an orderly manner. He threw the pills to the injured students to force the poison out after they consumed them. Then he stuffed the pills into Yun Chujio's mouth. Just as he was about to use his spiritual power to try and force the poison out of Yun Chujio woke up. Chapter 5676, What a kind girl you're all okay? It's really great. He Xinjiu said with difficulty when she saw the injured students. Those students were so touched that they were about to cry. They had misunderstood Yan Qingqing in the past. What a kind girl she was. She was about to lose her life, yet she still cared about their lives. They had let her down, they weren't human. They were worse than pigs and dogs. Sect Master Yuan was also shocked. It seemed that although this little girl was a little tricky, her nature was very kind. Otherwise, she wouldn't have sacrificed herself to save others time and time again. Previously, he had held a prejudice against her because of the failure of the lightning strike stone. It was really too inappropriate. However, what was the point of saying all this now? The little girl's life would probably be in danger. Yan Qingqing, don't speak for now. Quickly use your spiritual power to expel the poison. Quick! Sect Master Yuan shouted sternly. Yun Chujio immediately put on an act and began to expel the poison. This fellow was cursing himself in his heart. It's too fucking painful. I'm also an idiot. I was so focused on verifying whether the arrow would turn into lightning spiritual power that I forgot that this thing would hurt when shot on my body. It seems that this method is really out of tune. If I rely on this method to level up, he'll probably die from the pain. This is simply a self-torturing method. Unless it's absolutely necessary, I absolutely cannot use it. Oh, it really hurts to death. Moreover, the increase in the power of lightning is very limited. It's really not worth it. For the time being, he'll just obediently use Xiao Mogu to absorb the power of lightning. If I'm lucky, it'll be even better if a few heavenly lightning strikes. However, I should find an opportunity to verify whether the attacks of the other lightning-type demon beasts are the same, as well as the attacks of the lightning-devouring mushroom and the cultivators with lightning spiritual roots. Damn it, it's all that Vice Director Xaiaph's fault. If I took the main path, I could absorb a lot more power of the lightning. Why didn't the lightning strike yesterday kill him? It's best if I use another bolt of lightning to make him bald. Sect Master Yuan had been nervously paying attention to Yun Chujio's situation. When he saw that she was frowning and gnashing her teeth from time to time, he thought that she was in unbearable pain, and he couldn't help but feel sorry for her. Boom. At this moment, a purple heavenly lightning struck the ground from the distant sky. It seemed to be near the main path. He Xinjiu was also shocked by the heavenly lightning and opened her eyes. Then she closed them again, thinking to herself that 80% of H. What a terrible skill. This fellow could not help but feel sad. Her spiritual pets were all good-looking but useless, not to mention the 3 disgusting foodies in her dantian. It was not easy to unlock a skill that could solve thunder desolation, but she had to suffer physical pain. What kind of sin did she commit in her previous life? After 2 hours, the group finally killed all the thunder-devouring mushrooms and thunder-poison moths. Then they began to pick up the thunder-striking stones. Hei Xingjiu took advantage of Sect Master Yuan's lack of attention to release Xiao Mogu, and began to secretly absorb the power OT lightning hidden underground. However, what troubled Hei Xingjiu was that since there were not many thunder-eating mushrooms in the place where the thunder-striking stone was produced, the power of lightning hidden underground was very limited. This fellow was a little worried. If this continued, wouldn't her gains become less and less? However, it wouldn't be good for her to openly fight with those students for the lightning strike stone. After all, she was so kind. Sect Master Yuan originally thought that Yun Chujio wouldn't be able to survive this time. However, he was pleasantly surprised to find that although her face was pale, her life didn't seem to be in danger. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief in his heart. Chapter 5677, Help me up, I can still save people. Due to Yun Chujio's heroic performance, everyone's attitude towards Yun Chujio had changed drastically. During the night camping, everyone came to visit, especially the few people who were saved by her. They were extremely grateful. Hei Xingjiu said with difficulty, "We are classmates, how can we not save them? This is what I should do." Hearing that, everyone was immediately filled with respect. Looking at Yen Qingcheng's awareness, it was more than 1 level higher than theirs. They were really ashamed of their inferiority. After Hei Xingjiu set up her good character, her eyes fell on Xiao Lianping, who had been secretly sizing her up. Very good. Wasn't it just borrowing beasts to kill people? She knew how to do it too. Let's wait and see. The next day, everyone continued on their journey. Because Hei Xingjiu was seriously injured, she was carried on the soft bed. It was a great feeling. Not only did everyone have no objection to this, they even fought to carry the soft couch. Yen Qingcheng was willing to sacrifice herself to save her, so it was only right for them to do something. In the afternoon, everyone found another place where lightning-struck rocks were produced. Although there were no thunder moth here, there were thunder-devouring rats. They could shoot out several wind blades and burrow into the ground at any time. Then they would launch an unexpected attack, making everyone miserable. Hei Xingjiu, who was lying on the soft couch, saw that a student was in danger. This guy wanted to verify whether the thunder-devouring rat's attack could be used for his own use. Therefore he jumped out of the soft couch and once again acted as a human shield. Everyone's admiration for her was like a torrential river. Yen Qingcheng was really too kind. She was already like this, yet she was still saving people. What kind of compassion was this? The reincarnation of Guanyin was only SOSO. Hei Xingjiu got her wish and was struck by the wind blade of the thunder-devouring rat. She realized that the lightning power contained in the wind blade could also be used for her own use. It was simply beautiful. Moreover, she realized that since the thunder-devouring rat was of a higher level than the thunder-poison moth, the lightning power contained in its attack was also much more. In this case, wouldn't she earn more if she was attacked by a higher-level thunder-type demonic beast? Therefore, when this fellow noticed that there was a thunder-devouring rat that was much larger in size, his eyes immediately lit up and he decided to verify his guess. Hence, this fellow once again flew over to save her, successfully causing her body to be covered in wounds. It was as miserable as it could be. Yun Chujio was once again carried back onto the soft couch. She said with difficulty, "Help me up, I can still save her." The people were so moved and shocked that words could not describe it. The scene of Yun Chujio bathing in blood and asking for battle was deeply engraved in their minds, and they would never forget it for the rest of their lives. Therefore, everyone immediately became full of fighting spirit and bravely killed the enemy. They burst out with amazing potential and actually killed all the thunder-eating mushrooms and thunder-eating rats in this place very quickly. Yun Chujio, was there a need to be so exaggerated? She had not even had the time to borrow the beast to kill people. Was it over just like that? Alright then, Xiao Lianping would be lucky. Let him live another day. However, what Yun Chujio did not expect was that in the next 2 days, she would become the focus of protection. During every battle, Sect Master Yuan would send people to watch her so that she would not take the risk to save people. Not to mention finding a way to kill Xiao Lianping, she could not even release Xiao Mogu because those people stared at her with their eyes wide open, afraid that she would sacrifice herself for others. Hei Xingjiu asked the heavens speechlessly, Did she suffer retribution? Chapter 5678. I can't just stand by and watch her die. Shinjio repeatedly promised that she would not be impulsive and save her again. Sect Master Yuan saw that although her face was a little pale, she was no longer in serious danger, so he removed the few students' supervision of her. Sect Master Yuan was also somewhat puzzled. Yan Qingqing had been injured repeatedly. Although it was only superficial wounds, her recovery speed was indeed much faster than the average person. However, he did not think too much about it and attributed it to Yun Chujia's unique constitution. Yun Chujio looked at the battlefield and her gaze met with Xiao Lianping's. Xiao Lianping was rather depressed these few days. He had thought that Yun Chujio would die after being poisoned by the thunderclap poison moth. Who would have thought that not only did she not die, but she had also become a hero? He did not even have the chance to strike again. He was filled with hatred in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. He could only look for another opportunity. Yun Chujio saw the flash of viciousness in his eyes, and a faint smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Was it not good to be alive? She had to court death. After another 2 days, under Yun Chujia's insistence, she joined the battle. Xiao Lianping's heart was filled with joy. The opportunity had come. He did the same thing. During the battle, he once again moved behind Yun Chujio, wanting to repeat the same trick. Xiao Lianping planned to anger a meerkat. When he dodged, the wind blades shot out by the meerkat would attack Yun Chujia's back. The level of this meerkat was higher than the previous thunder poison moth and thunder devouring rat. If all the wind blades hit Yun Chujia's life would be over. Xiao Lianping planned and did the same thing. However, when he dodged to the side, he stumbled and didn't dodge. Most of the wind blades shot out by the meerkat landed on his body. Moreover, he had deliberately provoked the meerkat. The meerkat pounced at him with a fierce look in its eyes. Xiao Lianping hurriedly raised his spiritual energy shield and commanded his spiritual beast to resist the meerkat. This way he could hold on until Sect Master Yuan came to save him. At this moment, Yun Chujio turned her head and cried out in alarm, "Be careful. I'll save you." As he spoke, he threw out a huge fireball to attack the thunder mongoose. Unfortunately, his accuracy wasn't good. The fireball didn't hit the thunder mongoose, but it hit Xiao Lianping's spiritual beast instead. The fireball contained the flames of a small flame, which immediately knocked the spiritual beast back a few steps. Xiao Lianping was so angry that he was about to die. He cursed, "You bitch." In his anger, his spiritual power output was not stable. The thunder meerkat directly tore open his spiritual power shield with its claws and bit at his throat. Yun Chujio seemed to have finally reacted and exclaimed, "I can't just stand by and do nothing. I'll help you." "No, you said that you won't let me help you. Then should I help you or not? It's really too complicated." Xiao Lianping almost died from anger. He used his last bit of strength to roll to the side, dodging the attack of the thunder fox mongoose. Then he was pleasantly surprised to see that Sect Master Yuan had already jumped over. His heart relaxed. As long as Sect Master Yuan made a move, he would be saved. However, he saw Yun Chujio grab Sect Master Yuan. "Sect Master," Xiao Lianping said that he doesn't need anyone to save him. "I think he wants to die and survive. He wants to stimulate his potential at a critical moment. Please don't make a move first." Xiao Lianping was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He was about to beg Sect Master Yuan to save him when the thunder mongoose pounced on him. Its sharp teeth bit his throat. Chapter 5679. Loss of contact. Seeing this, Sect Master Yuan hurriedly struck out with his palm, sending the thunder meerkat flying. However, the thunder meerkat's teeth were extremely sharp, and Xiao Lianping couldn't be any more dead. The corners of his eyes were wide open in anger, filled with resentment and unwillingness. Yun Chujio slapped her thigh. "Heavens! The Xiao Lianping is playing too much. Even if he wants to stimulate his potential, he has to do it within his means. He actually didn't let anyone save him. This is great, his little life is at Sect Master Yuan." Some of the students saw the entire process, but no one raised any objections. Yan Qingqing was so kind to want to save him, but he himself said that there was no need, so he couldn't blame anyone else. Sect Master Yuan wasn't stupid, so he naturally could see that Yun Chujio was doing this on purpose. He recalled the incident in the cultivation room and the incident with the thunderclap moth a few days ago. It was no wonder that Yan Qingqing hated this Xiao Lianping. Moreover, it was obvious that Xiao Lianping was trying to harm himself instead of others. He deserved it. Therefore, Sect Master Yuan pretended not to notice Yun Chujio's intention and said indifferently, Yes, he was too strong-willed and gave up his life in vain. Sect Master Yuan's words determined this matter. Xiao Lianping's death was entirely his own fault and had nothing to do with others. In the next few days there was no danger. Although some students in the lower house were injured, no one lost their lives. Although they didn't find many lightning strike stones, everyone was still satisfied. Of course, some people were very dissatisfied, such as He Xinjiu. The further they went, the fewer the number of lightning-devouring mushrooms and the corresponding amount of lightning spiritual force underground. This fellow could only watch as others picked up the lightning strike stones. She was so envious and jealous that she was about to be angered. However, there was nothing she could do. She could only curse Deputy Director Xiaofu to be struck by lightning when she had nothing to do. Not to mention she would occasionally accidentally curse him a few times, and it really succeeded. Sect Master Yuan was puzzled. He had heard that the scale of the heavenly lightning in this Thunder Valley was relatively large every time. Why were there always sporadic heavenly lightning strikes recently? It was really strange. Seeing that the promised half-month period was almost up, Sect Master Yuan led everyone back to the fork in the road. However, the promised day had passed, but there was no sign of Vice Director Xiaofu and the others. During this period, Sect Master Yuan had sent a voice transmission talisman to Sect Master Hao of the Middle Courtyard, but he was surprised to find that it had not been sent successfully. Another day had passed, but there was still no news from the upper and middle courtyards. Sect Master Yuan tried to contact Vice Director Xiaofu and the others through the others from the academy, but they were unsuccessful. Sect Master Yuan was in a difficult position. Although some things had happened previously, he was still a member of the academy, so he couldn't just stand by and watch them die. However, even Vice Director Xiaofu and the others were in danger. If he brought the students from the lower house with him, wouldn't he be like a sheep in the tiger's mouth? He had wasted the lives of these people. Of course, they could also wait for the academy to send people to rescue them, but this would delay them for a few days. Far water could not quench the thirst. Sect Master Yuan was in a dilemma and finally made a decision. I have reported this matter to the academy. The people who will pick us up will arrive in 4 days. You should return to the shallows immediately and wait. The people of the academy will escort you back to the academy safely. Hearing this, everyone immediately asked, "What about you, Sect Master?" Sect Master Yuan took a deep breath and said, "I will go and check out the situation ahead. Maybe I can get some useful information." Everyone did not want Sect Master Yuan to be in danger. After all, it was Vice Director Xiaofu who forced them to the side road. Now he had to risk his life to save them. Why? Chapter 5680. Although everyone thought so, they knew that since Sect Master Yuan had already said so, it meant that he had already made a decision. There was no point in saying anything. They could only reluctantly return to the shallows under the lead of a few group leaders. Watching the students leave, Sect Master Yuan took a deep breath and walked toward the main road. On the other side, He Xinjiu walked with the crowd for a while. She blinked her eyes and said, "You guys keep walking. They'll go find Sect Master Yuan." The crowd naturally did not agree. They tried to persuade her, "Yan Qingqing, although you mean well, it's too dangerous. You can't go." "Yes, it's not that I don't like your words. Your cultivation is too low. If you go, you'll only cause trouble for Sect Master Yuan. You'd better follow us obediently." Yun Chuzhou saw that everyone had a strong feeling that if she had to go, she would be tied up. She could only pretend to be convinced. "All right, then I'll listen to you guys." This fellow couldn't help but feel sad in her heart. Sometimes it was also bad to have a kind person set up too well. If it was in the past, no one would care about her life and death, allowing her to chase after Sect Master Yuan. When everyone saw that she had given up on the idea, they continued on their journey. However, at dawn the next day, everyone was stunned to find that Yun Chuzhou had disappeared without a trace. Instead, she left a note, "He'll go and help Sect Master Yuan. Don't worry, you'll be fine. See you later." Everyone was dumbfounded and could only send a voice transmission talisman to Sect Master Yuan. Sect Master Yuan told them to return to the shallows according to their original plan. He would take care of Yan Qingcheng's matter. On the other side, He Xinjiu left the camp in the dark. She rode the giant rabbit and dashed towards the main road. Of course, this fellow was not trying to save her out of good intentions. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to get more power of lightning. It was an opportunity that could not be missed. It was rare for her to come out. If she did not get enough, wouldn't she lose her life? As for the dangers, this fellow didn't care about them at all. Didn't Director Xiaofu say that the greatest dangers here were the lightning-type demon beasts and heavenly lightning? What a joke. Not only were these things not dangerous to her, they were also supplements. The kind that was extremely nutritious. However, she was soon tired. This fellow told the giant rabbit to continue on its journey while she lay on its back and slept soundly. While she was sleeping soundly, the giant rabbit let out a hurried cry. Yun Chujio reluctantly opened her eyes. A blue light flashed in front of her, and a demonic beast that looked somewhat like a wolf blocked her way. There was a red moon-shaped mark between its brows, and its eyes were emitting a deep blue light. She didn't know what level it was exactly. Yun Chujio's face was a little gloomy. There was nothing she could do. She had been getting up quite badly recently. She said coldly, "Get lost. If you don't get lost, I'll kill you." The demon wolf felt that the little girl in front of it was most likely stupid. Did she not know what was going on? How dare she talk to it like that? She was really courting death. The demon wolf opened its bloody mouth and shot out several silver wind blades towards Yun Chujio's face. Yun Chujio immediately used her spiritual energy shield to protect herself and the giant rabbit, blocking the wind blades. She jumped off the rabbit's back and put the giant rabbit into her spiritual beast bag, smiling faintly. "You asked for it. Today I'll show you what a real thunder spirit root is." Yun Chujio raised her hand as she spoke, and several purple lightning bolts shot towards the demon wolf. The demon wolf was obviously shocked by the purple lightning bolts. Chapter 5681, Wolf Howl Purple? This wretched girl has a heavenly thunder spirit root? The demon wolf was stunned at first, then it was ecstatic. If it ate this wretched girl with a heavenly thunder spirit root, it might be of great benefit to its cultivation. Although this little girl had a heavenly thunder spirit root, her cultivation could not be compared to it at all. It would be able to kill her very soon. The demon wolf let out an arrogant roar, and then it pounced towards Yun Chujio. Normally, Yun Chujio would have released the Goei Batsao and the other dumb cuties to help. However, this fellow was now enveloped by the anger of waking up. His entire body was filled with hostility and he decided to attack by himself. She held the large kitchen knife and charged straight towards the demon wolf. She allowed the silver wind blade that it shot to hit her body, but she did not dodge. Even though she was drenched in blood, it did not slow her speed. The demon wolf was freaking out. Was this human girl a lunatic? Why didn't she dodge her attack? Furthermore, according to common sense, she should have died a long time ago after being hit by so many silver wind blades. Why was she still alive and kicking? The demon wolf was too shocked. It did not even think of dodging and one of its ears was cut off by Yun Chujio. The demon wolf cried out in pain and attacked Yun Chujio crazily. However, Yun Chujio didn't dodge at all and let it attack. She waved her big kitchen knife and slashed continuously. "Fuck. I told you to stop me from sleeping. I'll chop you to death. Why didn't you sleep at night? Why did you come out to be a demon? Why did you come here to die? You're a lightning-type demon beast, so what? Pui? You're a fake. No, you're a defective product. What are you shouting for? You're howling like a wolf and you still have the nerve to come out and embarrass yourself." The demon wolf? It was howling like a wolf to begin with, alright? The demon wolf's heart was very miserable. If it was logical, this wretched girl would have died a long time ago after being attacked by it so many times, but why was she still so valiant as to raise that broken kitchen knife and chase after it? Very quickly, the demon wolf gave up on attacking and focused on escaping. "Damn it, you interrupted my sleep and you want to run away like this? No way. Don't you know how to spray wind blades? Spit it out. If you don't spit it out, you're a dog." The demon wolf thought to itself, even if it was called a pig, it would still accept it. If it encountered such a pervert, wouldn't it be waiting for death if it didn't run? The demon wolf ran as fast as it could while Yun Chujio chased after it with a large kitchen knife in hand. At this moment there were several howls coming from the front. The demon wolf was delighted. Its companion had AR. A smug look flashed across the demon wolf's eyes. It didn't believe that this smelly girl wasn't afraid of attacks at all. She must have gritted her teeth and endured it just now. Smelly girl, let's see how you can show off this time." Soon, 5 demon wolves came running from afar. Yun Chujio narrowed her eyes. She was already covered in injuries. It would still hurt for a while, but it would also hurt for 2 hours. She would take the opportunity to absorb more of the power of lightning. Therefore, not only did she not retreat, she charged towards the wolf pack while howling. The 5 wolves that followed were all dumbfounded. This was a crazy woman, right? Shouldn't normal people just turn around and run? Why did she come to their doorstep? The demonic wolf from before let out an impatient howl. The other 5 demonic wolves finally regained their senses and shot silver wind blades at Yun Chujio one after another. Yun Chujio simply stopped where she was and said to them, "Come, come. I'll let you guys attack as you wish. Whoever admits defeat first will be a turtle bastard." Chapter 5682 Admitting defeat. The 6 demonic wolves' tempers flared up as well. Io, who doesn't have any self-respect. Even wolves have to be shameless. Who's going to admit defeat first? They only needed to blink their eyes to chop this smelly girl to death. Since she was courting death, then let her have it. Release the wind blades and cut her into 1,000 pieces. Therefore, the 6 demon wolves desperately sprayed the wind blades at Yun Chujio. Shinjio only protected the vital parts of her body. They could attack the rest of her body at will. After all, the Guai Chao could heal her wounds in no time. After a while, Shinjio said kindly, "It's too inefficient for you to only attack one side. Come, surround me and attack me at a 360-degree angle. That way you can chop me to death sooner." The 6 demonic wolves were furious, but they still formed a circle and shot out wind blades with all their might. They were sure that this brat would not be able to hold on for long. However, an hour later, even though Yun Chujio's clothes were soaked in blood, she was still standing calmly in the middle. Not only did she not die, she was even more energetic. "You guys should use more strength. Are you all sheep in wolf skin? You are so useless," Yun Chujio said while eating melon seeds. Wolves could be killed but not humiliated. They were bullying the wolves. The 6 demon wolves immediately used all their strength and continued to shoot wind blades while howling. However, after another 15 minutes, the 6 demon wolves were so tired that they were panting. Their legs were a little weak and they almost collapsed on the ground. On the other hand, the little girl who was surrounded by them was even more lively. Her eyes were so bright that they were almost shoulder to shoulder with the stars in the sky. The 6 demon wolves wanted to cry, but they had no tears. What kind of pervert had they encountered? How could there be such a heaven-defying pervert in this world? "Hey, don't stop. Keep spraying. I'm waiting. Anyway, these clothes are dirty, don't waste them. Hurry up, keep spraying." The 6 demon wolves looked at each other. There was no need to waste time on this pervert. Retreat. They were dreaming. They could only run 2 steps when they were blocked by a giant Goei Batsao. Goei Batsao wrapped the 6 demon wolves with its leaves and threw them in front of Yun Chujio. Normally, Goei Batsao would not be so easy to get. However, the 6 demon wolves had used up all their spiritual power, so they could not fight back. Yun Chujio held the large kitchen knife and sneered. "If you want to spray it, then spray it. If you don't want to spray it, then don't spray it. In your dreams, spray it all. If anyone doesn't spray it, PLL kill." The 6 demonic wolves were almost regretting their actions, especially the 5 that came later. They hated the previous wolf. Since they knew that this stupid girl was so perverted, why didn't they tell them? That demonic wolf was also aggrieved. Who knew that this brat was so perverted? If they had known earlier, they wouldn't have provoked her, all right? Moreover, was there any use in saying all this now? It was better to continue spraying wind blades. Thus, under Xinjia's coercion, the 6 demonic wolves continued spraying wind blades. They felt that in the future they would have a shadow over the spraying wind blades. This was using their lives to shoot wind blades. In the end, the 6 demonic wolves rolled their eyes and passed out while foaming at the mouth. Yun Chujio took out a basin of cold water and splashed them awake. "Continue to shoot." The 6 demonic wolves kneeled on the ground at the same time. They admitted defeat. They were turtle bastards. Let them go. Chapter 5683 How terrifying it was to be uncultured. Yun Chujio looked at the 6 demonic wolves kneeling on the ground, and a smile blossomed on her face that the 6 demonic wolves would never forget. That smile made the 6 demonic wolves tremble, and it made them tremble from the bottom of their bones. It was terrifying, too terrifying. The woman who was covered in blood was like an Azura from hell. No, a demon. A female demon. This wretched girl must have thought of some evil plan to torture them. Could they still see the sun tomorrow? "You interrupted my sleep and slashed me so miserably. Shouldn't you compensate me?" Yun Chujio said with a cold smile. The 6 demon wolves were filled with hatred. "You interrupted my sleep and cut me so miserably? Wouldn't it hurt her conscience to say that? How tired were they to chop her up? They were clearly the victims. They'll give you 2 choices. One is to die, and the other is to sign a temporary contract with me. Which one do you choose? The 6 demon wolves? There was clearly only one choice, all right. However, their eyes flashed with a strange light. This wretched girl was only at the 9th level of Spirit Extinguisher. They were demonic beasts at the 4th level of the Moon Seal. Their spiritual sense was stronger than hers by a bit. They wanted to establish a temporary contract with them? Very soon she would know what it meant to throw a stone at her own feet. It meant that she had overestimated herself. When the time came, they would give her a backlash and kill her. Yun Chujio naturally did not miss the cunning in the eyes of the 6 demonic wolves. There was only one thought in her mind. Uncultured, how terrifying. One Ear, come over. I'll establish a temporary contract with you first, Yun Chujio said to the demon wolf that had one ear cut off by her. The freshly baked one ear forcefully suppressed its hatred and crawled in front of Yun Chujio. It wanted to stand up, but unfortunately, it had the heart but was powerless. Yun Chujio first established a spiritual connection with one ear, and then began to establish a temporary contract with it. One Ear's eyes flickered. The opportunity to turn defeat into victory, to take revenge, and to avenge its previous humiliation was coming. However, when it established a temporary contract with Yun Chujio, it felt a huge suppression from its spiritual sense, and it almost spat out a mouthful of wolf blood. Backlash my ass. Its little spiritual sense was like a small raindrop falling into the sea, and it still wanted to retaliate? It was simply overestimating its own ability. After one ear realized this, it immediately threw its wild ambition to the back of its mind and crawled to the side to play dead. The other 5 demon wolves were instantly enraged. This idiot. Where was the backlash that was agreed upon? Why didn't it do anything? What a waste. Yun Chujio glanced at the 5 demon wolves and yawned. Let's do it together so as to not waste time. She had contracted an ear just to be on the safe side. Now that she saw that it wasn't difficult, she said so. But the 5 demonic wolves didn't know that. They laughed wildly in their hearts. It seemed that one ear was deliberately pretending to be timid to lower her vigilance. They didn't expect that one ear was actually quite smart. The 5 demonic wolves looked at each other and then crawled in front of Yun Chujio. Then there was no then. The 5 demon wolves obediently lay beside one ear. It was not that they were too cowardly, but that the other party was too abnormal. Yun Chujio glanced at them and asked, "Where is your nest?" One ear drooped its head and said, "Our nest was destroyed by you humans, and the lightning stones inside were also taken away. It was not easy for us to escape." Chapter 5684 Deserved to be struck by lightning. Another demon wolf said with some lingering fear, "Those people wanted to kill us all. Fortunately, the leader was unlucky enough to be struck by lightning, so we took advantage of the chaos to escape." The other demon wolves echoed, "It must be God's blessing that allowed us to escape. Otherwise we definitely wouldn't have survived. Yeah, that heavenly lightning strike came at the right time. If it wasn't for the fact that he was in a hurry to escape, I would really like to see what kind of state he was in. These vicious humans came to compete with us for the lightning strike stone for no reason. They deserve to be struck by lightning." That's right. It's best if all the humans are struck to death by the heavenly lightning, lest they shamelessly come to snatch our lightning strike stone. Just as the few demon wolves were having a lively conversation, they suddenly realized that they had said something wrong. This stinky girl in front of them was also a human. Didn't they scold her too? After realizing this, the 6 demon wolves immediately started to tremble. Yun Chujio glanced at them. "You guys said that I deserved to be struck by lightning?" The 6 demon wolves were shaking so much that they were about to turn into sieves. It was over. It was over. They definitely wouldn't be able to see the sun tomorrow. Well said. I deserve to be struck by lightning. The heavens should send down lightning to kill me. You guys are very good at talking. PM very satisfied. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The 6 demon wolves. Is this brat crazy? Yun Chujio yawned. Have the lightning strike stones nearby been plundered by those people from before? One of the ears came back to his senses and quickly said, "Yes, not only did they plunder the lightning strike stones, but they also killed all the monsters guarding them. As a result, we have been starving for several days. That's why we came here to hunt." Yun Chujio thought of the disappearance of Director Xiaofu and the others and asked, "Where did those people go after that? Why haven't they returned?" An expression of schadenfreude flashed across one of her ears. If PM not wrong, those people must have gone to the Cave of Death. There is no return from the Cave of Death. Once they enter, they will definitely die. Cave of Death? No one had ever mentioned that there was a cave of death in the Thunder Valley. One of her ears seemed to have noticed Yun Chujia's confusion and explained, "That cave of death was formed a few months ago. There were scattered thunderstones at the entrance of the cave, and faint crackling sounds could be heard from inside. Many demon beasts had guessed that there would be a large number of lightning stones inside, so they fought to enter the cave. However, until now not a single demon beast had come out, and no demon beast dared to enter after that. This was also the reason why the humans had been able to pass through unimpeded. If not for the fact that most of the demon beasts had entered the cave of death, they definitely wouldn't have been able to take advantage of it. Humph, those humans are insatiable. They must have all entered the death cave. They deserve to die in there." Yun Chujio did not have a good impression of Director Xiaofu and the others. Therefore, even though she knew that they had entered the death cave, she did not plan to save them. She was not a good person. What this fellow was concerned about was how to get more power of lightning. Although the lightning strike stones had been picked up by Director Xiaofu and the others, there might still be residual power of lightning underground. Even the legs of a mosquito were meat. He Xinjiu yawned. "You should know where the lightning stone is produced along the way, right? Take me in to have a look. Maybe I can find something." One ear twitched his mouth. Those people picked it up very carefully. How could there be anything missing? You'd better not waste your effort. Chapter 5685 or not. Yun Chujio glanced at one of her ears. "Why are you talking so much nonsense? You still want to spray wind blades, don't you?" One of her ears immediately trembled. "Master, you are right. There will definitely be some who slipped through the net. We will bring you to look for them now." Yun Chujio curled her lips. Demon beasts were born with the ability to act according to the wind. There was no need to train them. She saw that there was still some time before daybreak, so she threw some demonic beast meat to the 6 demonic wolves to replenish their strength. Then she took out the omnipotent small tent to sleep. Although the 6 demonic wolves felt that the level of the demonic beast meat that Yun Chujio threw to them was too low, they were already starving. No matter what, it was more important to fill their stomachs first. Yun Chujio slept until daybreak. She stretched and walked out of the small tent. The 6 demon wolves had recovered their strength and spiritual power, but when they saw He Xinjiu, their legs went weak subconsciously. Yun Chujio ate some simple food and threw a lot of demon beast meat to the 6 demon wolves before continuing her journey. However, this time He Xinjiu did not ride the giant rabbit but rode the wolf instead. Soon they arrived at a place where lightning-struck rocks were produced. There were still traces of blood on the ground, and it was impossible to tell if it was human or demon beast blood. There were many pits dug on the ground. It must have been caused by Director Xiaofu and the others to pick up the lightning stone. One ear used its claws to pull a few times and said, "It's all taken away. There's nothing left." Yun Chujio ignored it and directly released Xiaomogu. Xiaomogu's mycelium quickly spread underground. It really found some of the lightning power stored in the lightning mushroom and even found a few lightning stone. The 6 demon wolves were all dumbfounded. No wonder this stupid girl was so sure that she could pick up something. It turned out that she had this strange Xiaomogu. However, wasn't she afraid that the stored power of lightning would be too violent? Did she dare to directly absorb it? The 6 demon wolves immediately recalled the unbearable memories from last night. It was also true that she was a pervert. Even if she could absorb the power of lightning, it would be normal, right? The lightning stone producing areas on the main road were very dense. Although there were times when she missed, Yun Chujio still had some gains. She was simply happy. It was also because she had been picking up scraps from the various lightning stone producing areas that she missed Sect Master Yuan, who had turned around to look for her. Sect Master Yuan saw that he could not find her, so he could only continue to turn around to look for Deputy Director Xiaofu and the others. He Xinjiu picked up some scraps along the way and arrived near the legendary Cave of Death. The 6 demon wolves were afraid that she would seek her own death, so they tried to persuade her not to think too hard and not to go into the Cave of Death. He Xinjiu could not help but laugh. She had not intended to go in, so what were they worried about? Director Xiaofu and so many others were trapped inside. What could she do by herself? Besides, if she counted the days, the reinforcements from the 10 Directions Academy would arrive by tomorrow at the latest. There was no need for her to take the risk. Just as Yun Chujio was about to turn around and leave, a scream came from the Cave of Death. Yun Chujio stopped in her tracks. The voice seemed to be the voice of Sect Master Yuan. If it was anyone else, she could pretend not to hear it. However, although Sect Master Yuan used to hold a grudge against her, he had been treating her well recently. Did he care or not? This fellow finally sighed and walked towards the cave of death. The 6 demon wolves were about to cry. What happened to not going in? What happened to cherishing life? They did not want to go in, but now that they had established a temporary contract with Yin Chujio, they could only shiver and follow behind Yin Chujio. Chapter 5686. No way. The 6 demonic wolves were so regretful that their intestines were turning green. If they could turn back time, they would not have provoked this wretched girl. If they were to enter the death cave, how could they survive? Yun Chujio ignored the resentful gaze that came from behind her. As she walked forward, she sized up the so-called death cave. The scene inside the cave was really different from the so-called death cave. Although the sunlight could not shine in, there was a faint, magnificent light that was emitted from the rocks on the cave walls. The 6 demon wolves were even more afraid. The experience of their ancestors told them that the more beautiful something was, the more dangerous it was. This death cave was really too terrifying. They didn't know if it was an illusion or not, but they vaguely heard the sound of liquid dripping. One of their ears trembled as they used their divine sense to say, "Master, did you hear any strange sounds? Maybe it was the sound of blood dripping. Woo-woo, it's too terrifying. Master, let's go out." The person who asked for help had lost his voice. He must be dead. If the wolf doesn't do it for himself, heaven and earth will destroy him. Don't worry about him. Yun Chujio didn't stop walking. If he's alive, well, see him. If he's dead, well, see his corpse. There was no choice. The 6 demon wolves had no choice but to follow her. Suddenly, an ear said in surprise, "Look, the top of the cave in front. This. The roof of the cave was like the sky outside, with blue sky and white clouds. It was very realistic. If she didn't know that she was in the cave of death, she would have thought that it was really the sky." Yun Chujio originally thought that the blue sky and white clouds were formed by a formation. After taking a closer look, she actually found that it was a natural pattern formed by the rocks on the roof of the cave. It could be said that it was a work of art. After walking for a while, she finally knew the origin of the sound of the liquid dripping. The pattern at the top of the cave in front of her changed from blue sky and white clouds to dark clouds. There were also sparse drops of water falling from the top of the cave, just like a drizzle. However, after the raindrops fell to the ground, they were almost instantly absorbed by the stone slabs on the ground, which made people feel very strange. The 6 demon wolves could not help but stop in their tracks. The water must be poisonous. We can't go over. If we go over, we will be corroded into blood. Master, forget it. We have walked so far and still haven't seen anyone. They must be dead. Let's go back. Yes, Master. Let's go and pick up the leftovers. It's too scary inside. Yun Chujio was speechless. These 6 fellows were even more timid than rabbits. How did they survive until now? Actually, it was not the fault of these 6 demonic wolves. The main reason was that many demonic beasts had entered this death cave and did not leave. If they were not afraid, they would have seen a ghost. Yun Chujio put the 6 demonic wolves into her spiritual beast bag. Then she propped up her spiritual energy barrier and walked over unhurriedly. The biggest threat of the rain was nothing more than poison. This point was negligible to her. At this moment, Gowei Batsao suddenly took control of her body and said, "Grandmother, this liquid is good stuff. Let me drink enough before I leave." Yun Chujio? You should give up on this idea. Yun Chujio naturally wouldn't waste any time here, so she mercilessly rejected Gowei Bakao's request. It won't take long. If that sect Master Yuan was going to die, he would have died a long time ago. If he wasn't dead, it wouldn't have taken much longer. Use your kitchen knife to cut a hole there and it'll soon be full. No way. Chapter 5687. Opening the window. Gowei Batsao rolled her eyes. You don't want to have sex anymore? Think about that fiend's figure. Aren't you afraid that you'll let other coquettish bitches get away with it? Open the window. Gowei Batsao. This black-hearted bitch was even more perverted than it was. It was only pursuing a beautiful spiritual exchange, but she was good. She only wanted to have sex all day long. Pervert. Of course, Gowei Batsao would not say these words out loud, so it quickly returned its body to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio jumped up with a large kitchen knife and slashed at the spot where Gowei Ba was pointing, and then there was liquid flowing down. Yun Chujio raised her head and drank all the liquid. In fact, there was not much in total. She did not know if it was Yun Chujio's misconception, but she felt the ground tremble. After passing through this rain area, Yun Chujio released the 6 demon wolves and continued on her journey. The 6 demon wolves were exceptionally obedient with their tails tucked between their legs, because they had seen the scene just now in the spiritual beast bag. Although they did not know the existence of the Guai Chao, the way Yun Chujio talked to herself just now, even a fool would be able to tell that it was very strange. Moreover, she actually drank all the liquid. It was really too scary. However, this fear quickly turned into excitement. Because not long after they walked out, they heard a crackling sound. In the distance, there were many thunderstones scattered on the ground. Master, we're rich. Ah, Master is still wise. This death cave isn't that scary. Yes, so we are right to listen to Master. We have meat to eat and lightning stones to take with Master. It is so wonderful. No wonder Master insisted on entering the cave of death. She knew that there were lightning stones in here. Yun Chujio was speechless at these flatterers. Perhaps they could survive until now because of their flattery skills. As the 6 demon wolves spoke, they dashed forward, wishing that they could keep all the thunderstones. If you want to die, then go and pick them up, Yun Chujio said lightly. The 6 demon wolves were stunned on the spot. What did she mean? Are you idiots? If there was no problem with the thunderstones, would you still be here to pick them up? Although the 6 demon wolves were displeased that they were called idiots, they thought about it and felt that Yun Chujio's words made sense. There were so many demon beasts and humans who came in earlier, and they were not blind. There was no reason for them not to pick up the thunderstones. Master, then what should we do? Walk over and pretend that you didn't see those lightning strike stones? If any of you want to die, then go and pie. The 6 demon wolves had one advantage, and that was that they were tactful and immediately agreed obediently. However, when they passed by those lightning strike stones, each and every one of them felt so much pain that they were about to twitch. Following that, they encountered a few similar situations in succession. Moreover, the more lightning strike stones there were, the more the 6 demon wolves felt itchy. There were a few times when they wanted to reach out their claws to pick up the lightning-struck rocks. However, when they thought about it, they realized that even the pervert in front did not dare to pick up the lightning-struck rocks. It was better for them to not take the risk. After turning another corner, the scene in front of them changed again. The ceiling of the cave became the night sky. It was filled with stars. It was as realistic as the night sky. If there was a difference, there was one. There was no moon in the night sky. There were only stars. One of the ears mumbled, "The owner of this cave is really interesting. If you want to see the blue sky, white clouds, and stars, go outside. Why do you have to do all this in your own cave? Isn't it troublesome?" Chapter 5688, I have the fire spirit root. Yun Chujio stopped in her tracks. A faint light flashed in her eyes. The reason is naturally very simple. He can't get out. One of the ears was just casually saying it. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, it immediately shivered. Then we'd better not go in. That thing must be very powerful. As soon as one of the ears finished speaking, a huge suction force came from the depths of the cave. Yun Chujio and the 6 demon wolves were sucked into the depths of the cave. The 6 demon wolves immediately let out a miserable cry. It wasn't because they were in much pain, but because they were afraid. They felt that they were definitely going to die this time. Yun Chujio also gave a few symbolic shouts. She didn't know the other party's strength, so playing the pig to eat the tiger was a good choice. The 6 demon wolves and Yun Chujio fell to the ground in a sorry state. When they looked closely, they realized that this was an extremely spacious stone hall. Half of the cave's ceiling was blue sky and white clouds, while the other half was filled with stars. There was still no sun or moon. The surroundings were a circle of cages. There were many demon beasts and many cultivators locked inside. Among them were Vice Director Xiaofu, Sect Master Yuan, and the others. However, regardless of whether it was the demon beasts or the cultivators, they were all injured to varying degrees. Moreover, their eyes were red. No matter how they looked at it, it didn't seem normal. At this moment, an old man with a cold expression walked out of nowhere. He laughed strangely as he sized up Yun Chujio and the 6 demonic wolves. The 6 demonic wolves were frightened by the cold aura that he emitted, and they trembled in fear. They hid behind Yun Chujio without a care in the world. As Yun Chujio's small body was too small, the 6 demonic wolves automatically lined up in a row. Yun Chujio. The old man was obviously stunned as well. He sized up Yun Chujio and asked, "Are these thunder beast wolves your spiritual pets? How did you tame?" Yun Chujio shivered and said, "They fainted from hunger by the roadside, so I took the opportunity to establish a temporary contract with them." After they woke up, they wanted to bite back, but because I could provide them with food, they followed me. The 6 demon wolves. They sounded like good-for-nothings. They were obviously forced to do this, all right? The old man smiled non-committally. No matter how you subdued them, it's not important. What's important is that I happen to lack a human with a thunder spirit root and 6 thunder-type demon beasts to cultivate the great art. You guys came at the right time. The 6 demon wolves almost cried when they heard that. They said that they couldn't come in. Now they were just there to make up the numbers. They were dead. Was it too late to regret now? Yun Chujia's small face was pale. She asked with a trembling voice, What great art? I don't want to die yet. One ear was a little suspicious. Wasn't this female devil very arrogant? Why was she suddenly like a little sheep? Could it be that she was brewing some bad idea? The old man laughed evilly. Don't you want to die? It's your honor to be able to contribute to my escape. If it wasn't for me wanting to find someone to share the joy of success, you would have been locked in a cage by now. Yun Chujio shivered even more. I am willing to help. But I don't want to die. As long as you don't kill me, I can do whatever you want me to do. I can go out and help you catch others. The old man sneered. Even if you don't want to die, you have to die. I've waited for over 10,000 years. I don't want to wait any longer. But I have a fire spirit root. It's useless for you to catch me. The old man. Chapter 5689. What kind of spirit root was she? Aren't you a thunder spirit root? Aren't all the cultivators here all thunder spirit roots? How can you not be a thunder spirit root? The old man asked suspiciously. Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders and waved her hand to release a fireball. I really am a fire spirit root. If you don't believe me, you can ask the people in the cage. They all know. The 6 demon wolves cursed in their hearts. Fire spirit root? This female devil didn't even blink when she lied. Not only was she a thunder spirit root, but she also had a heavenly thunder spirit root. Of course they weren't stupid wolves, so they naturally wouldn't say it out loud. The old man frowned. If he was at his peak, he would be able to see through her spirit root without her using her spirit energy to attack. However, he had been trapped for so long that he no longer had such an ability. Was this little girl really a fire spirit root? With a wave of his hand, he pulled out an upper academy student from the cage. He did not know how he did it, but the redness in the student's eyes disappeared. The student was stunned for a moment before he started trembling in fear. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please let me go. The old man said lightly, It's not difficult to let you go. Tell me, what kind of spiritual root is this little girl? The student only saw Yun Chujio and the 6 demonic wolves now. Although he didn't know why the old man would ask this, he still quickly said, She is an audit student of the lower house of the academy. Her name is Yen Qingqing and she has a fire spiritual root. The old man's face suddenly darkened. He originally thought that the number of cultivators and demonic beasts had been gathered and that they could use the great magic. He didn't expect this little girl to have a fire spiritual root. It was really unlucky. Since you have a fire spirit root, why did you enter this Thunder Valley? Before Yun Chujio could speak, the upper academy student hurriedly said, Because of her, the thunderstone in the lower academy was ineffective. Therefore she came over to redeem herself. Sir, I have already said everything I know. Can you let me go? The old man's lips curled into a sneer. Let you go? It's not impossible. You kill her and Pilo let you go. The student nodded without any hesitation. Okay, Pilo, kill her now. He turned to Yun Chujio. Yen Qingqing, don't blame me. If you don't do it for yourself, heaven and earth will destroy you. Moreover, my talent is much better than yours. My life will be more valuable than yours. If you want to blame me for being too useless. Yun Chujio immediately showed an incredulous look. You can't do tea. While Yun Chujio dodged to the side, she said to one of the ears, Kill him. The more people we lack, the safer we will be. The 6 demon wolves immediately swarmed forward. In their simple minds, Yun Chujio was now their hope for survival, so they naturally had to comply. Moreover, they had signed a temporary contract with the female devil. If she died, wouldn't they also suffer? Although the student saw the 6 demon wolves, he did not connect them to Yun Chujio. Naturally, he did not expect them to suddenly attack, so he immediately lost the ability to resist. One of his ears was about to bite the student's throat, but his body was torn apart by a huge force. The other 5 demon wolves were the same. The old man waved his hand, and the student was once again thrown into the cage. His eyes also returned to their red color. Chapter 5690 Sha-Mo. The old man laughed evilly. Humans are indeed the most foolish and selfish race. They will kill each other at the slightest danger. Little girl, do you hate him? Yun Chujio changed her timid expression and revealed an angry expression. I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked the demon wolf to help me kill him. The old man narrowed his eyes. If you kill all the people here, I will let you go. What will you do? Yun Chujio sneered. Of course he'll kill them. You heard me just now. I'm just a student of the lower house in the academy. They often bully me. Even the lecturers don't look like lecturers. They treat me coldly. I've hated them to death. If I could trade them for my own life, of course I'd be happy. I have always been kind to others, but what did I get in return? If I can live, I will definitely change my way of living. I would rather betray the world than let the world betray me. You are not too stupid. Although your cultivation is a little low, I have no one to use now. You can stay and be my maid. When I get out of this predicament, I will naturally not lack your benefits. The old man said in a benevolent manner. He was not worried that Yun Chujio would play any tricks. She was just a piece of trash at the 9th level of spirit extinguisher. There was no way she could play any tricks. Yun Chujio immediately revealed an expression of fear and trepidation. Thank you, my lord, for not killing me. I will definitely be loyal to you. I will do anything to prove my loyalty. Do you need me to kill a few people in the prison to prove my loyalty? The old man waved his hand. I don't think you dare to play any tricks. They are still useful. It would be a waste to kill them. Then do you need me to lure a few cultivators with thunder spirit roots over? The old man sneered. No need. I think someone will come to me soon. I will never come back. No one can escape from me. Seeing this, Yun Chujio flattered him a little. Then she took out a table and chair from her storage ring, poured some tea and placed some pastries on the table. She said respectfully, Sir, please? The old man nodded with satisfaction. Although this little Gurpi's cultivation was a little low, she knew how to cause trouble. It was not bad to keep her. His gaze fell on the 6 demon wolves. The 6 demon wolves immediately kneeled on the ground with their front legs, looking pitiful. The old man, no wonder that little girl bribed them with some food. She really didn't have the moral integrity of a demonic beast. Sir, can we keep them for now? After all, too weak. There are some things that I might not be able to complete without their help. If we can't gather enough demonic beasts in the end, it won't be too late for you to lock the... The old man thought for a moment. In this place he was the ruler. There were only 6 demonic beasts, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Therefore he nodded and agreed. The admiration of the 6 demonic wolves toward Yun Chujio was like a torrential river. The female demon was indeed powerful. The trick she taught them was indeed effective. Yun Chujio poured a cup of tea for the old man and asked, Sir, I heard that you are not a human? Then who are you? The old man said arrogantly, Of course I am not a sinister human. I am a noble demon, and I am the fiercest Sha-Mo among the demons. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. Sha-Mo? She had once learned the whereabouts of a few demons from a succubus, and one of them was Sha-Mo. According to the succubus, Sha-Mo was locked in the Chenkuan realm. Could this be the Chenkuan realm? Chapter 5691 If only I were a demon. Yun Chujio immediately revealed an expression of pleasant surprise and worship. So it's Senior Sha-Mo, I've long heard of your great name. I've heard of you like thunder. Seeing you today is indeed wise and wise. Junior is truly fortunate to be able to follow Senior. The old man had been trapped here for 10,000 years and had not heard such flattery for a very long time. He felt very comfortable in his heart and nodded, You little girl, you sure know how to talk. However, you are wrong about one thing. My name is not Sha-Mo. Sha-Mo is just one of the many races of the demon race. Yun Chujio's face revealed the perfect curiosity. Senior, I am young and I don't have much knowledge. What do you mean? Why can't I understand? The old man clearly liked Yun Chujio's attentive attitude and said, The demon race is divided into 6 major clans, namely Sky Demon, Shui-Mo, Shai-Mo, Ing-Mo, Tan-Mo and Succubus. Among them, the Sky Demon clan is the noblest, Shui-Mo is the most insidious, and we Shai-Mo are the fiercest. As for the other 3, they are all inferior clans that cannot be put on the stage. Yun Chujio pursed her lips in her heart. So it turned out that she was only ranked 3rd. This fellow ridiculed in his heart, but on the surface, he said with a face full of admiration, So that's how it is. Listening to your words is better than reading 10 years of books. I've learned a lot. I wish I was a demon. I'm really ashamed of being a human. I wish I could strip off this human skin and become a demon. Hearing Yun Chujia's words, the smile on the old man's face became more genuine. He said, "You don't have to be so sad. After I regain my freedom and complete my mission, I will return to the demon continent. As long as you are obedient, I will bring you back to the demon continent as well." Although the human race's situation in the demon continent isn't very good, with me taking care of you, it won't be a big problem. When the time comes, you can marry another demon and you will be completely safe. Hearing his words, Yun Chujia's face revealed a bashful and happy expression, but her heart was filled with waves. She didn't know whether her cheap parents were from the demon race or not, and Wu JP's head might also be from the demon race. Perhaps in the future she would really have to go to the demon continent. The Shamo was just like his name, a silly demon. It was best to think of a way to control it in case she had to go to the demon continent in the future. However, this old thing was still alive, so it wasn't easy to settle it down. It would be better if it was like Chiang. If she could contract him, she could stuff him into the spirit beast pouch. Thinking of this, Yun Chujio used her spiritual sense. Buttface's heart. Are you crazy? Contract the demon race? Why don't you go to heaven? However, what the old man said was, "Little fairy, you can even contract with me. What's a mere old demon? You can definitely contract with them." Hun Dun scoffed at Buttface's words. Just as he was about to speak, Yun Chujio cut off the spiritual sense connection with them because the old man frowned in dissatisfaction. "Why aren't you speaking? Are you secretly talking to those demon wolves?" "Senior, you are really sharp-eyed. I was indeed communicating with them just now. They also want to go to the demon continent, but I don't know if they can survive in the demon continent," Yun Chujio said in a flattering manner. The 6 demon wolves were so depressed that they wanted to vomit blood. They wouldn't want to go to the demon continent unless they were crazy. However, the old man believed it. After all, in his mind, the demon continent was the best continent and the holy land that all races yearned for. It was normal for the 6 demon wolves to want to go there. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.